Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in to Top Rope Renegades This Week in Wrestling. This is episode number 13. And as you can see by that beautiful intro video, RK has been grinding and working. So RK, props to you, my friend. That intro was phenomenal.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, man. Putting in work, trying to, just liven up our little, shindig thing we're doing here. More stuff coming in the future, so stay tuned for that in future episodes. But for now, yeah, that's what we got.
We just got done watching the WrestleMania XL documentary, and you know what just spaced my mind, RK? And I think you know
We
what it
didn't.
would.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We'll have to.
Uh,
We'll have
we'll
to
do that.
watch it next week,
We'll push it
or
back.
can we watch it? Can we?
I don't
Just
know if we
play
want
it?
to test that yet because I think this intro has been fantastic, so I don't want to mess it up. I think we just want to keep rolling. We'll push this week in wrestling or this match in wrestling back. This match in wrestling match of the
This
week. We'll push it
previous
back.
match of the
We'll
future.
push it.
That
Yeah, we'll get it. We'll get there.
I'm
We'll
trying not
push it
even
back.
be heel yet, and you're making me want to fucking yell at you.
And that match, of course, was the Matt Riddle versus Walter match. We'll get to that. But we did get done watching the WrestleMania XL documentary. So I figure we might as well kick off the show with that and talk about the immediate reactions before we roll into the news, rumors, and innuendo. We have to talk about SmackDown, Raw, NXT, Dynamite, and we'll hit on Forbidden Door a little bit. If you want to know our immediate reactions from Forbidden Door, we did go live here on the YouTube. And it is posted to the channel, so you can see our immediate reactions from what happened at AEW's Forbidden Door pay-per-view over the weekend. But other than that, man, the WrestleMania XL behind the curtain dropped on YouTube Wednesday night. It was about an hour and 30 seconds long, and it was just a real insight onto what went on from the moment The Rock inserted himself into the story of WrestleMania and whose idea, what they did, they pivot, did they not? They did. And all the behind the scenes stuff that some people don't really like. Me personally, I love just the peek behind the curtain, and I love seeing what goes on back there. But some people don't. I
I'm
think you're one of those
no,
people.
no, fuck that shit. I'm old school, man. I want this shit to be kayfabe. I'm tired of guys going, yeah, I put over Swerve to get rid of all the fucking rumors, and I'm tired of hearing this shit every week about like whatever happened to wrestling being kayfabe and like behind the curtain stuff. This stuff. Not saying that this documentary wasn't bad, and I do enjoy them, but it kind of does take away from the whole allure of what we're watching sometimes.
I just think kayfabe it died with social media. Truly, I mean, when social media really blew up, you couldn't
Yeah,
hide
no,
shit
I'm
anymore. It's the
I'm not
times.
denying that. I'm
I
not fucking
agree.
denying that, but I mean, I'm old and I want to yell at clouds, so fuck you.
And there's levels to it. Like I wish, like I think I've mentioned this before, is I wish there was surprises still, but it feels like everybody's got a scoop and it kind of dumbs down the surprise. We've had a few recently where it's been like, oh shit, like Seth Rollins returning on Monday Night Raw. Nobody saw that coming. That was just a surprise. There was no leaks that, oh, he's backstage. But we do get leaks. Like we didn't get it this week on Dynamite, and that was Ricochet. But I'm sure somebody will get a scoop that, oh, Ricochet is going to be on Dynamite when he does show up on AEW.
Or maybe someone in AW sees what WWE sees in Ricochet.
Yeah, or it's a massive swerve by WWE and he'll be back. That'd be crazy.
That too, and that is entirely possible. It's well known right now that TKO is purposely letting contracts run out so they can renegotiate them at lower prices. It is what it is. It's business. When we get to the news rumor innuendo, I got a little bit of a story on that about numbers of talents, salaries, and all that shit. So kind of puts it in perspective what they're doing. It's business, people. They're going to do their best to keep their numbers down so they can make more profit. It is what it is in the end. Yeah, who knows? Maybe Ricochet just disappears a little bit and comes back at SummerSlam reinvented somehow.
That'd be interesting. But yeah, anyway, if you want to go check out the WrestleMania Behind the Curtain documentary, for those that you like seeing the behind the scenes of how things are done in the WWE, this is a pretty good version of it. Biggest takeaway for me, and people are kind of saying like, oh, The Rock, whatever. I do truly believe that this was The Rock's idea because it's The Rock. He made a point to say, when the crowd started to turn, he said, "We either ride it out in the main event of WrestleMania is me versus Roman, or we pivot and we go with Cody and Roman instead." And he said, he basically said that he was the one that said, "Let's go with Cody and Roman," because he didn't want to make that section of fans upset. I believed him when he said that. Some people are like, bullshit, but it's The Rock. If The Rock would have said, "No, the main event needs to be me and Roman, and I don't care if a little section's mad," they would have went through with it, because that's how much power I think The Rock holds still.
We were talking about it even during while it was all happening. If this was Vince McMahon's era still, and even in that documentary, Rock said there's two options: you either truck through and just do it,
Mm-hmm.
or pivot.
They would have
And
trucked.
we've had that in the past. I mean, we literally had. Well, I didn't, thank God, because I wasn't watching. But we literally had Roman Reigns shoved down our throats as a babyface for years, and they
Yeah.
were just trucking through with it, not
It
pivoting at
was
all. So
Royal Rumble 2015 when The Rock showed up, and that was the big moment to, we're gonna get Roman over, and Rock lifted his hand and at the Royal Rumble, and all that crowd did was boo, and they even showed that in the documentary that this is the story we've been building. And yeah, I said this on the road to WrestleMania. There is a story still with Roman and Rock. It was made 5 years ago. It's been made because they're family. It's the bloodline. But the 2 year story of Cody Rhodes returning and chasing down Roman was just more in the forefront, and it had enough fans behind him.
it was cool seeing what The Rock said, that even though it was a small segment, because they said it right in the documentary, they could have trucked through with it, done the Roman versus Rock at WrestleMania, and it would have been a hit with a lot of people. The casual fans per se would have all loved it. It's The Rock versus Roman. It's the biggest thing ever. But The Rock then goes on to say that even though it was a small segment, he doesn't even want a small segment of fans upset with the product. So
Right.
that's why he wanted to pivot. And yeah, I agree 100%. It probably was his idea because he's got that Hogan creative contract written into his, contract, right? So, yeah, it's not going to work for me, brother.
Yeah, Mercedes Monet. Um, yeah,
Did you know that she had creative written into her contract? Because I couldn't tell.
yeah. My favorite tweet I saw was somebody said Mercedes basically told us she had creative control, and the next thing you know, she has 2 titles around her waist.
Yeah, no, we'll get to that. It's horseshit. Vicar is we'll get there. We'll get there. I got some in the news section. I got something on that already, so
Mm-hmm.
we'll dig into that a bit more. I've already said my piece on it during the Forbidden Door previews, during the Forbidden Door recap. This intro, the news. I'm sure I'm going to bitch about it for 2 months down the road when she wins her fourth
And
title.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna be totally honest and transparent with you. You know how much shit I know how much shit you give me, and you do it to get a rise, and I do it to you to get a rise. But when I say this, your opinion on Stephanie Vicker in that situation, it's valid, and I resonated with it. And I think there is a handful, not even a handful, many, 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 many people that agree with those kind of bullshit. But we'll get to that here. We're gonna get into the news.
Oh,
But
I got something for you that's gonna make your head explode even more on that because of what Mercedes said, and I was just like, you gotta be fuck this bitch. You said it best. This is not Sasha Banks. This is not even close to Sasha Banks.
Agreed. So let's hop into the news. I'm gonna do what I've done all the weeks prior, and I'm gonna read these headlines. And this is the new thing. I want to start this. I did read them because you wanted me to read them earlier. Going forward, I want to make a deal with you. You can continue to do these headlines, and I'll load them into the system. I won't even look at them. I will read them the moment I hit the number and put this up when we're recording, just for you. So it's kind of like a surprise, because
Okay.
just for goose and gags, shall we? It's similar to what Michael Che and Colin Jost do on Saturday Night Live, where they get the jokes written for each other. I'm going to utilize this as similar to it. So
Okay.
I got us a little small. We need to be a little. No, we don't. Nope, I had us right.
No, that's normal. That's normal.
All right,
What
what
do
do
you
you got
got?
here? This is the Top Rope Renegades news segment. Mercedes Monet says, "That's not going to work for me, brother. Vacour is a star." I totally agree with that headline. This one I don't agree with, but we'll get into it. I really actually don't want to get into it that much. Your opinion is yours and mine is mine. Will Ospreay jobs the Swerve at Forbidden Door? And he quote in a article from Fightful Select, had basically said, now everyone can shut up about me being the best. That's not word for word what he said, but he basically said he was tired of people thinking he was the best and he wanted to put Swerve over.
Let me just preface something here. I'm going a little different angle on these headlines now because I just want to kind of add my humor behind it because I think I'm hilarious. These are not direct quotes from the stars, hence the news, rumors, innuendo.
Right.
I'm just creating shit, but
But
I think it's
it is
hilarious.
very
So
close to what was reported from Fightful Select. What Will said is
so what was said was basically he wanted to stop all the people claiming that Swerve was just a placeholder for the title until All In for Osprey to win.
gotcha.
Um, I still think, Osprey's a jobber now. And I mean, somehow he beat Garcia, which we'll get to. I mean, I was surprised by that one. Garcia's like the backbone of AEW.
They
And
did say that. They did say that on the broadcast.
I'm not even lying.
Um,
But
let's
yeah,
get we'll get to
I
that.
think I'm hilarious. So just so you guys know, I'm funny.
Hardy Boys are working as free agents for TNA. That is actual factual information. And they are quoted per rumor and innuendo. We don't have a contract. We're waiting for trips to call. To those that love the Hardy Boys, and I made RK watch a couple videos, go to Jeff Hardy's Instagram and listen to him sing.
Don't go to
It's rough.
don't
It
don't.
is rough.
I can tell you right now, it's not really worth it.
Woo. He's
If you want to
basically
see good, if you want to see absolute artistry at its best, go down a Joe Hendry rabbit hole.
well. That's
That
what I say.
shit's fun.
Joe's great, and then Jeff Hardy was singing Joe Hendry's theme song, and it was.
I believe in Joe Hendry.
He didn't say that though. He kept, I believe in Jeff Hardy, and he kept doing like it was that was tough. It was tough.
Yeah.
Anyway, RK, it is your time. What do you got in the news, the rumor, and innuendo?
Dijak. Donovan Dijak? Is that his actual Donovan, right?
That's
Yeah, Donovan Dijak. He has become a free agent. He has come out and said some things, and conflicting reports. I don't know. I haven't really dug into it. I don't really care to dig into it. I think Dijak's awesome, but he said that he found out a couple weeks prior to his contract expiring that they would not be renewing it. And the rumors that are floating around right now is that WWE officials are upset that he was leaking info to the dirt sheets and specifically the Observer.
I heard, yeah, those rumors, and can I gotta go back just a quick second.
You can do whatever the fuck you want, man. I'll just
I
call you
have
an idiot
creative.
if I have to.
I have creative control. No, this is you're gonna call somebody an idiot after this, because we did talk about the WrestleMania XL behind the curtain thing. Did you see what Dave Meltzer said about it? He said a lot, but the quote where he had said, and there is on the podcast, him and Alvarez do, or the Wrestling Observer radio, basically. He said, and this is, I'm just going to read this tweet because there's a fantastic Twitter account called Meltzer Said What with a question mark, which just posts the shit that Meltzer says that's bullshit and all that.
They must be like busy. Like
So
they gotta like post
yeah,
like everything,
a lot.
basically everything he says.
So here's what he said. Dynamite. This is my new nickname too. I'm gonna roll with this, and you probably will too.
Hey, do we have numbers yet this week?
I will. That's what I was actually looking for, and then this stumbled across my eye. Dynamite Dave Meltzer, was claiming that the WrestleMania XL Behind the Curtain doc that aired Wednesday at 7 p.m. was getting the jump on AEW Dynamite, and he was claiming that the documentary was going to be 2 hours long to go head to head with AEW. But then he says, "I'm pretty sure, but I'm not positive." That is what he does. He says something, and at the very end, he's like, "But I'm not totally sure," just in case he's wrong, so he can fall
It's
back
like Bruce
on that.
Pritchard says. He says shit, and then if it's wrong, he just goes, "Oh, well, creative changed their minds."
Yeah, so the documentary was not 2 hours long. It was an hour and 30 seconds.
They had that AEW run over time.
Yeah, they had a little run over. Yeah, I don't think you can. I don't trust anything Dave Meltzer says nowadays. So, and then just another.
He is, I was saying about old man yelling at cloud. He's basically like
right.
the old man yelling at the cloud.
And I'll let you carry on. Before that, though, I missed this when we opened. Actually, when is Canadian Independence Day? July 2nd. Is that right?
We don't call it Independence Day.
What day is it?
It's Canada Day.
And it
And
is
it's July 1st.
July 1st. Okay. So for those celebrating
1867,
for those celebrating Canada Day that are any viewers from
I
Canada,
think.
happy celebrations to you. To those here in the United States, our July 4th just happened. And for those celebrating, have a good time. And I wanted to read this tweet from AJ Menendez, aka AJ Lee, aka CM Punk's wife. Not to sound unreasonable, but if your fireworks scare my dog, I should be allowed to fight you in the streets.
Where did they live in Chicago? I'm
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
I'm gonna go launch some fireworks off near her house.
Just to get beat up by her in the streets.
Yep.
I think I may have mentioned this to you before, but you may not get this joke. In where I'm from here in Indiana, Indianapolis, central Indianapolis area, we always play a game around this time. Was that a firework or a gunshot? Because you never really know around here. And I was dating to preface this. I was dating a girl that lived on the north side of Indiana, in Carmel, Indiana. It's a very uppity, nice area,
Car-
fancy.
Did we have we gone over this with
It's
caramel or caramel?
it is
Is it
Carmel,
like is it
but
caramel?
it's
Car is like
Caramel. It's pronounced caramel,
caramel.
but if you want to piss the
Okay.
people, the uppity white folk up there, call it caramel. Watch them lose their shit. It's hilarious.
Hey,
But so
you're from Wertherstown, right? Werther
yeah, I'm from Wortherstown,
Werther's.
Indianapolis. So was a year ago because it is the 4th. There were fireworks going on while I was with her in Caramel, to each their own, and I made the joke, fireworks or gunshot, and she goes, "Why would it be a gunshot?" And I'm like, "You clearly have never been to Indianapolis, Indiana, in the downtown area." But yeah, you wouldn't get that in Canada because your gun rules are a little different than ours. Because everybody here in America apparently just has a gun.
That's not true at all.
I know, I
Actually,
know, I know, I know,
it's
I know.
getting it's starting to become a bit of a problem up here too. Even in my little, well, I can't really call it town. I was born and raised in Kelowna, British Columbia, and it was a small city, small town when I was a kid, like back in the 90s. And now, I mean, it's growing, and we're starting to look like mini Vancouver, and the crime rate's going up. And I'm just glad I live up in the mountain because I could not live anywhere near downtown anymore.
So okay, it's similar. It's similar here then. Don't like
It's
living near
everywhere,
that shit.
man. It's becoming a problem. I mean, we're not a political show. We won't get into it, but our government's got to fucking figure shit out sooner or later because it's starting to
Hey,
become a big issue.
yours and mine, my friend. Yours and mine. Yeah. Carry
Uh
on.
okay. So you bringing up the numbers and everything, I forgot to put this in my notes here, but you sent me a thing on Discord a while back. Tony Khan talking about the numbers and the lead in and all that stuff, and talking about how WWE's numbers were dropping. And I listened to the little clip, and I was just like, your numbers are back to normal, which being what, 700,000, and you're saying that SmackDown numbers dropped from the previously one of their lowest numbers in a long time, and their lowest number in a long time was 1.8 million, and you're back to normal numbers of 700,000, and you're bragging about that. You're a fucking goof. 700,000 compared to 1.8 million, you're not even in the neighborhood of WWE's numbers. And
Uh,
then Meltzer in the background going, "Oh yeah, no, that's right, you know, fucking idiot."
I'm trying. I don't think AEW's ratings have came out yet. I wonder
Remember
if
the
they're going
last
to
time that
say.
happened?
Well, I
Remember
wonder
the
if
last
they're.
time that happened?
Well, I wonder
Their
what they're
numbers
going
were
to
500,000.
say. Well, I wonder if it's going to be because they'll use the holiday as a reasoning. NXTs are out, and honestly, they're not great. NXT ran an average of 542,000 P18 rating to 49 was a 0.15. So
I
not
actually give them
great.
that because NXT this week was probably their worst episode of the year.
Yeah, it was not a great episode of NXT. If you care about Raw did 1,878,000 with a 0.62 rating. NXT still beat Collision from the past weekend, which is a 422,000 with a 0.12. And then, honestly, this is kind of crazy here. I wonder if everybody
Did
just
I send
tuned.
you some numbers earlier this week about something? Anyways, go ahead, talk. I'm
I'm not
looking it
sure.
up.
WWE SmackDown from Friday, which we're going to get into as soon as we get into the reviews, did 2.256 million with a 0.66 in the predominant rating. That's really good.
Over 200 Oh, sorry, 200. I'm gonna inflate the numbers. Like 500 million plus went to 110 AEW shows last year. I did the math on that. That was like 2 million people per show attended. Okay, but anyways, SmackDown, yeah, over 2 million viewers and a .66. A .66. That is unheard of this day and
Their
age.
SmackDown's actually doing better than Raw.
Raw has the issue, and I mean, I will bash on WWE for a second. 3 hours is too fucking long, man.
Yes, agreed.
You
So
can have a more they feel like they have to stretch shit out too much. If they had a more 2 hour show, it feels like they're more on a scheduled basis and they're not trying to stretch anything out to make it last longer. I feel like that Raw is always running into trouble if they stretch segments too long, just try to fill those 3 hours.
yeah, 3 hour. We'll see what happens when we go to Netflix. I wonder if they'll still keep it 3.
Rumors would say they're going to go back to 2, but then the rumors all say that SmackDown will turn into a 3 hour show because of that. Whatever. I mean, I'm not, in the end, I don't really care. I'll watch 3 hours.
Watch it
I
anyway.
love it that much, but I feel like they could be a little bit more cohesive if they weren't trying to stretch every segment longer than it should be. So yeah, anyways, long story short is Tony Khan somehow thinks that 700,000 even compares to 1.8 million on a bad day for SmackDown. So
What ifs? All right.
start talking when you're pulling in over 1 million per show.
Yeah, no shit. All right. Well, yeah.
Ricochet became a free agent on July 1st. Everyone's like, he's definitely going to AEW. He didn't pop up on Dynamite. We just talked about it. Maybe it's the ultimate swerve. And also, like I said, TKO is letting contracts expire and then they work them out. So maybe they're working on the contract right now. Who knows? Also, Angel Garza just signed a new 3-year deal after his contract expired. So, because it expired, I think, late June. And they just announced that they worked on a new one. So maybe that's just TKO doing their shit, man. Their business. They're gonna figure it out. Kurt touched on it. It's on the main page here. Matt and Jeff Hardy are working as free agents. They have no contracts signed. They're just doing their thing, paid per show. Hiromu Takahashi, president of New Japan, he told the New Japan Pro Wrestling USA fan club that he went to a urologist for the first time and was told that he has very nice balls.
Okay.
I I chuckled. I mean, that's a weird thing to tell your fan club, but I mean, congratulations on Takahashi's very nice balls.
Can I just ask real quick before you carry on? Are those news? Is your news light this week? Because I'm not seeing much.
It is a little light, so
Okay.
I'm stretching. I'm pulling a raw right now. I'm
Because
stretching.
I'm looking at like what I go off of after you get done, and I'm like, this shit's from a week ago. I
Yeah.
ain't got shit.
According to Fightful, Warner Brothers Discovery has had an offer to AEW on the table for months now on a new TV deal. Both sides are confident a deal will be reached as conversations continue. I'm not understanding this concept here. If an offer is on the table and everyone's confident a deal is going to be reached, why have they've been talking about that every month? It's same. Oh, it's on. It's we're near like a week ago, 2 weeks ago. It's like we're going to announce a new contract. I think it was Meltzer that fucking put it out. It's like a new contract is going to be announced here very shortly. It's like what's going on here? They're trying to play it off, but I'm sure, they're saying, oh, the 500,000 viewers is not a big. I'm sure that is somewhat of an issue because Warner Bros. Like, well, how can you be wanting this much money when you can't even pull in
Would you
750,000
not think
viewers
an
per show?
executive wouldn't be like would see these views and see that bad week they had, and then see the week where it went back up, and all the weeks prior where they go, are they only getting this rating because of a Big Bang Theory lead-in for real?
Yeah,
Like they need to test this. Like if I'm an executive there, I'm not. Clearly, I'm doing this podcast, but if I'm an executive, I go, can we give him a couple weeks in a row without a Big Bang lead-in, see what it looks like? That's what I would do. Because if they're really getting that much viewership from a Big Bang Theory lead-in, that's crazy to me.
yeah, it is. More on money and issues. So this is what I was talking about earlier. Meltzer, and I mean, take it with a grain of salt, but I've heard this from a couple other sources too. They might have just been quoting Meltzer. Not everybody quotes who they quote. I don't even quote who I quote sometimes
I
because
try
I
to.
really don't care. But Meltzer estimates that AEW's current rate of spending on talent salaries works out to a little less than $104 million over a 4-year. I don't know why you say a little less than $104 million. You could just say $104 million. I'm pretty sure anybody would think 103, 105. It's going to be roughly the same, but whatever. A figure that high means that they need a great deal from Warner Brothers Discovery to even break even. Currently, about 50 to 55% of AEW's total revenue goes to wrestlers' salaries. WWE, in comparison, spends about 20% of their total revenue on salaries. And was even at an all-time low about 5 years ago where they were only spending about 8% of their total revenue on salaries. So and then Meltzer goes on to say that's why their revenues numbers are always so high. It's like, well, yeah, they're a smart business. They know not to spend all their fucking money on talent and then not use that talent. So yeah, if you're spending half your revenue on talent, then yeah, where's the rest of the money's got to go to your crews, your all that stuff. Like, how much money are you really making? Like, this whole thing that Forbes valuing the company at $2 billion seems a little ridiculous.
I don't believe it.
I mean, I could go out tomorrow and try to sell my company. I own an electrical company. I could go up to a guy and go, and I know it's not worth this, but I can go up and like, I'll sell you my company right now for $3 million. He'd laugh in my face. I'm
Yeah,
like, what?
for
That's
sure.
what I think it's worth. He's like, it's not worth that though.
Or
It's like,
unless you
well,
get a
that's what
sucker
I
that
think
go,
it's worth.
unless you go get a sucker that's like, yeah, sure, deal. By the way, you would
I
sell in a
wish.
heartbeat. You would sell in a
I,
heartbeat.
I would be pumping all my money in this, make us famous,
Ah,
or just wasting my money on this one or the other.
hey,
I'm already
whatever
wasting my.
works.
I'm not wasting my
We
time.
watched.
I
Hey,
love hanging out with Kurt.
listen,
This is my boy here.
we watched that documentary, and they showed a couple of the TikTokers and streamers that that have gotten a big name because of the professional wrestling world. Santi Zap, one of them. You said I like his content. I do too.
I watch his shit. Yeah.
Santi was just live streaming a couple years ago to like 66 people, and now he's, in my opinion, Santi is probably the most popular TikTok wrestling streamer ish. To be honest, he's the guy now that I think everybody always looks for. It's him, Wheezy Blonde. Shout out to Wheezy Blonde. She's from here in Indianapolis, from Indiana. She's up north, but she's Indiana. And there's a couple other guys that have made a pretty big name, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to see. Maybe we just jumped on the train a little too late. I don't know, but we're still having fun. As RK said, that's my boy. That's my guy over there. That's my Canadian brother.
So yeah. Anyways, unless we will keep pumping out what we do for the hell of it.
Send it back. Come on.
I
Canadian.
did. I started the whole thing.
Yeah, but Canadian brother. What am I?
My Yankee? Doodle Dandy?
I hate to. I just thought of the song. I used to be able to play that on the little flutes.
Okay. Anyways,
Doodle dandy. And make them girls be handy. Nope, that didn't.
All right. Good night, people. Good night, people.
That's not
Anyways,
it. That's gonna get me canceled. Make the girls get handy. That's not it.
No,
Go ahead. Carry
what's
on.
wrong with that?
I'm gonna
Whatever.
let me hide my face for a second.
WWE officials are extremely upset over Fox's censoring of
Yes,
SmackDown last
I'm
week.
happy you brought this up. I don't know if you were gonna bring it up now or wait till the review, but I think now is the
Um,
my God.
So it was bad. It was really bad. We had to go so far as to watch the Canadian feed, which is the far superior feed because we get it all. Because
I'm not arguing with
it.
I can't argue with it.
Sportsnet, which is our large sports company in Canada. It's owned by Rogers, one of the largest telecom companies in North America. And nonetheless, we get it uncensored directly from WWE Network. So we win.
Yeah,
Go Canada.
I'm not even gonna fight this battle. I said it to you when it
So
was going on. When all your shit moves in, because you get everything moved to Netflix, NXT, SmackDown, all of it.
everything.
We normally use whatever link stream I have. No.
All my feeds
You.
all my feeds are
We're
coming directly
you.
from WWE Network. So.
We are running off of your shit going forward. As soon as that shit hits the Netflix, I am done.
Which then brings up the next point is, yeah, that was that wasn't even the talent that was causing that censoring. It was the fans.
The
And
crowd,
yeah,
yeah.
the fans are allowed to have their response. I mean, there was an NXT show a while back where they had to tell them during the break, "Hey
I,
guys, calm the fuck down."
I remember that. That was because
But
Carmelo. They hate. Oh yeah, cussing Mello
you
out.
got the big giant arena. You're in Madison Square. You're 18,000 fans. You're bringing in Knicks players and Indiana players, and
Yeah,
you're bringing in all this, and the fans are going to react how they want to react. And the fact that you guys in
yeah.
America are so heavily censored over something like that
That
is ridiculous.
that is my thing. This is in America. You
Because
gotta
on
have.
top of it all, Sportsnet is the third party of the WWE network. They have the contract with WWE to produce their stuff. Sportsnet could choose to censor that stuff, but they still don't.
Right. It was Fox. It was Fox. And here's my thing. What did you think was going to happen, Fox? You trotted out Tyrese Halliburton from the Indiana Pacers. You had Jalen Brunson right there from the Knicks, and everybody knows the New York fan base is wild. From every sport they have, their fans are out of control. What did you expect? Them to just boo? No, they're flipping the bird. They're saying fuck you. There was a fuck the Pacers chant. There was a fuck Tyrese chant. What did you expect to happen? Them to just go the usual boo route and say you suck? Nah. You're in New
No.
York. They're going to go ape shit.
That is historically the hottest wrestling market in the country, in the
Exactly.
world, really. So Fox America really
Sucks.
censoring this day and age, still censoring people. What are we doing?
Bully Ray, Bubba Ray Dudley said it best on Twitter. He said, "Hey Fox, you bleeping everything and taking the images down and cutting the feed because there's middle fingers takes away from the wrestling. Thanks."
Yeah,
It
good
does.
job. This is why the product's leaving Fox and going to USA. But USA is not much better. It's an American censor. It's the FCC.
You,
It's your guys' FCC that censors this shit.
USA is a little less lenient than Fox because I think I've heard USC elite like they don't ever like. I think you'll see middle fingers and shit, but they do
They don't black screen, but they do
no
bleep out like
bleep
holy
the
shit,
yeah. Come on,
holy
a
shit,
holy shit chant.
holy shit. That is like a classic wrestling chant. But in Canada, we don't censor our people. Well, actually, that's not true. We're not going to get into it, but we don't censor our fucking entertainment.
I know
Um,
you got freedom of speech up there.
that's questionable. But like I said,
Same,
we're not
same
gonna get in that because if you want to get canceled tonight, we can. Um, but nonetheless, WWE officials are extremely upset. They put out a statement releasing the hey, that wasn't us. That
right.
wasn't us. Asuka, she is apparently going to be out for the entire year. We're
Yeah.
not going to see her anytime soon.
What does it say? What her injury was?
It's a knee injury. It's a
Mm,
torn meniscus, I think.
mm.
Anyways, I don't know. I didn't really read up on it. She's not expecting to be back this year, but maybe Royal Rumble.
Can we speculate when she comes back? Is she no longer damage control? You think back to solo Oscar? Maybe.
I think Damage Control will be
I was
falling
about to say
apart by
that.
that
Will they
point.
even be a thing coming then? I don't know. We'll see.
Uh Tony Khan. This one's hilarious. You'll like this one. Tony Khan is planning on launching an injury report show to keep fans informed on how unsafe AEW really is. Oh wait, shit, sorry. To keep fans informed on injuries to AEW talent.
Why don't you just do what you always do, Tony, and just leak it to the dirt sheets and let them report it for you? You fucking mark. God, really? An
Like seriously.
injury report show?
Yeah. Hey, this is how unsafe our company is. These are
That's
all the
what
guys
it
that
is.
are injured.
Renee Paquette is a professional. If Tony goes up there and was like, "Hey, Renee, I want you to host this injury report show," Renee, you better laugh in his fucking face. That is the dumbest idea I've heard from him in a while, and he's got plenty. But that is so stupid. Is it just
Yeah.
because you don't? No, fuck off. That's the dumbest thing ever. I have nothing to say about that except
I
that's
laughed.
fucking stupid.
That's why I had to throw in how a show reported on how unsafe AEW is. Oh my god. WWE expects to have Halliburton and Brunson back on shows when it works for each of them. So I think they're going to be setting up some more Indiana and New York feuds going
That's
on
actually
forward.
really cool when you think about it because that's the Knicks and the Pacers beef has been a thing for years. Back when Reggie Miller in the Madison Square Garden scored 8 points in 9 seconds and did the choke to Spike Lee. we had war. Pacers have had wars with the Knicks. The rivalry kind of died until about 2014. It was brought back when the Knicks and Pacers went at it in the playoffs. This is I don't know how much you follow basketball, then people probably don't care about me talking about this, but this was
I
when
can't. Well, hold up. Canada cared about basketball for 1 year.
when they won the ship.
Yeah.
They won the ship. Shout out to Kawhi Leonard. So the
Hey,
rivalry.
I'm not even upset about him just bailing the year after. He won us a ship and
That he
left.
did
I
his
don't
job.
care.
This was when the rule became prevalent in the NBA when a individual goes to block a shot and he keeps his hands straight up in the air and doesn't move them. The verticality rule became a thing in this series when Roy Hibbert blocked Carmelo Anthony. And now the rivalry is back on because the Pacers and Knicks went to 7 games in the Eastern Conference semifinals, and the Pacers beat them in Madison Square Garden Game 7. So this goes back to the point. Of course, the Knicks fans were going to be pissed off that you brought Tyrese Halliburton out, the man that just beat them in Game 7 and took away their playoff hopes. So yeah, and now this is going to build for next season in the NBA. This is really cool. I like what they're doing here. This is WWE just tapping into market after market after market, aren't they?
They know how to do it. They've always been the best at bringing stars and
From
using them in shit.
from other sports, and even we had Liv Morgan throwing out the first pitch in Boston, and
Yep.
the MLB's official Twitter account tweeted out, "Here's the pitch from Liv Morgan. What do you think about that?" At Dom Mysterio. Like, what? All right, we're just tapped in.
Feeling the fire. It's
Mm-hmm.
WWE is it transcends genres. It always has. They've always been on
Yes.
top of it. You go back to WrestleMania 1, all the every like music, like Cyndi Lauper and then Mr. T and everything that Mike Tyson.
How's Cyndi
They
Lauper not in the celebrity wing of the Hall of Fame?
isn't she?
She's not, man. Cyndi
That's
Lauper's not
wild.
in the
That's
Hall of
wild.
Fame wing of WWE. Yeah, but yeah, Mike Tyson. One of my favorite ones was Floyd Mayweather for some reason when he literally fucking rocked Big Show. That was good shit.
But yeah, they've always been on top of it. Still does not beat the time that David Arquette won the World Heavyweight Championship in WCW.
So that was WCW. That's WCW. Shout out to the Scream
Actually, if you
Boys.
watch Who Killed WCW, some people think David Arquette. Anyways, unless. Dijak and Matt Camp. Fucking Matt Camp. This guy is a real piece of work. But anyways, they were both backstage at Forbidden Door. I hope AEW gets Matt Camp on their fucking staff and they can see how much of a idiot this guy
Listen,
is.
Matt Camp is starting to. He's on that level with Ronda Rousey of just crying about bullshit right now. And honestly, Dijak, I love Dijak. I really do think he's amazing in the ring. But he's starting to sound like a bitter ex-employee with the stuff
Hey,
he's saying,
if
man.
I'm sorry, if Dijak actually did leak info to the dirt sheets and Meltzer directly, then yeah, sorry, bud, you fucked up.
I think he basically did.
If he did, I don't
I
know.
saw a tweet.
Apparently, somebody said that he admitted to it.
Yeah, that's what I
On
read too. And I was like, if he legitimately admitted to that and then he wants to complain about them letting him go, you have nothing to complain about.
yeah,
Maybe he did leak it because he wasn't getting enough of a push or whatever. Sure, you did deserve the push. I'm not arguing with you. They should have had Dijak on Monday Night Raw, or they should have kept him on NXT and had him feud for more titles. But if you were that upset that you wanted to leak shit to the dirt sheets and fucking Dynamite Dave Meltzer, that's a little fucking weird. I don't like that.
yeah, no.
That's not
If
professional.
if that shit is true, then buddy, you kind of dug your own grave on that one.
Wish you the best
Still,
on the Indies.
huge Dijak fan. I do want to see him wrestle. I probably will try to. I'll probably get Rev Pro on demand for 1 month again just to watch that match with Oku.
We can probably find a way without paying for it. I'm just saying.
No, we don't do that, man. We pay for our wrestling.
We do actually. We do not fucking trust me.
We pay a lot of money for our wrestling.
Who's we, motherfucker?
Fuck you.
What have you paid for?
Do you not see all this cool shit I do for us?
Hey, thank you.
Do you not know how
Thank
much
you.
money that costs?
Do you know how much money that shitty Forbidden Door pay-per-view was?
Well, yeah, that's your $40 wasted.
Yeah,
Thank God it wasn't me because up in Canada that's like $70. Okay,
that's what I was getting about the Wii shit. I'm like, motherfucker, you did not pay for Forbidden Door. I did, and I regret every penny of that. We should have illegally streamed that shit.
We have a deal. I spend all this money on our production. You
Well, yeah,
get the pay-per-view.
and when they go to Netflix, you're handling that going forward, so we're good.
I am actually. It's my Netflix account.
It'll even out, and
Yep.
I'll
Anyways,
have something. Actually, I probably won't even need anything. Holy shit, that's crazy. I won't need
You'll still
anything.
have to you'll still have to carry us on AEW's fucking shit product.
Oh yeah, fuck.
Um,
Don't fucking rope me in with them. I'm an AEW guy
ew,
now.
brother, ew.
I'm a
Dude,
Tony.
you gotta clip
Ew, brother.
Tony Khan. Ew, brother, ew. Uh Rumors say there's a mega main event planned for July 17th Dynamite.
Is that Blood and Guts?
Yeah,
A major what
main
event?
event.
What's the Blood and Guts match? I assume.
I know. That's why somebody posted this. I shit you not. It was like from Fightful or something. He's like, "There's a major main event planned for July 17th." I'm like, "This is news. It's Blood and Guts. We all know what the main event is. What are we fucking reporting this for?"
Right. That's why I'm like.
This is what the dirt sheets. This is how slow. I don't know what the fucking dirt sheets are on about, but this was their big fucking news of the day. Was like a major main event for Blood and Guts. Yeah, we already know this, but anyways, fucking AEW. I'm sure AEW plants that shit, and then they just go, "Oh wait, it's Blood and Guts." Um, okay, this is the legit story on Osprey. Apparently, Osprey wanted to put over Strickland in that match, so people would stop saying that Swerve was just holding the belt until All In, where Osprey would win it. He wanted to put that to rest, get that out of the way. Which then you said a very good point of, so what? Tony Khan was actually planning on putting the belt on him.
Yeah, that's 100% what they were doing. I assume. It's what it sounded like to me from that report.
So for once, Tony Khan got it right, and then the talent totally screwed that up. So, anyways, I just set you up perfectly, and you didn't go for it. Fuck you. Okay, anyways,
And dealing with stuff. Anyway,
no, it's not important. At 1:30 in the what the fuck you dealing with at 1:30 in the morning?
what's next in your news, rumor, and innuendo?
Pete. Oh, this one got me going. PW Insider says there was a lot of praise within AW for the Monet Vakir match at Forbidden Door. I'm assuming, I hope to God, I'm assuming there's a lot of praise for what Vakir did in that match, because it wasn't what Mercedes did in that match.
No, I thought Mercedes looked like shit in that match compared to Stephanie Vacour.
So, AEW's got their heads so far up Monet's fucking ass, it's hilarious at this point. I'm not even shitting. She'll probably win the AEW World Title, Women's Title. She'll probably go to Reign of Honor. Do they have a Women's Title? Maybe
Yeah,
she'll go down to CML. Maybe she'll go and take the other 2 belts off for Kerr while she's at it. She can just have like 7 belts.
That's interesting, actually, about the Ring of Honor World Title. It's held by Athena, formerly known as Ember Moon, and apparently she's injured for 8 to 8 months, and she's not
That long?
She's not relinquishing it.
Well, yeah, because Reign of Honor is just fucking Tony Khan's pissing fucking company.
Could be using it as a developmental, but yet here we are.
Yep. Anyways, maybe the praise is for Monet because Khan probably doesn't want to piss off Mercedes Hogan, so who knows. Leo Rush is apparently injured. There was that one spot in the ladder match where he did take a nasty fucking bump. So I don't know. I didn't look into it too deep. It was just reported, I think today actually, that Leo Rush is injured, and they're not really sure for how long.
He posted this of his back. I don't know, with a caption.
Was he who Takeshita put through the table?
Takeshita put him through a ladder.
Yes, that where the ladder like folded. Yeah, he did look like he came up a little lame from that shot. I remember the one he did come up lame on one shot in that match. So
he actually went through a couple ladders. Now that I think about it. So yeah, I think so. So hopefully he gets better soon. I think he's good. I like Leo Rush.
Sunday morning at LaGuardia Airport in New York, Mercedes and Shane McMahon apparently ran into each other. They had a brief conversation and apparently talked about AEW a little bit. Monet then went on to confirm this story on her blog or video or whatever she does. I don't know. Could really care less about that. But she confirmed the story and said Shane gave her his personal number. She closed out the statement saying, "The rest, as they say, is history, or maybe a mystery." Now she's just feeling this stupid shit that Shane's gonna go to fucking AEW.
Hangman's not going to be in the Blood and Guts match. It's going to be Shane McMahon.
He's just gonna come flying out of the rafters, do a 50-foot elbow drop on fucking Briscoe. I hated your father.
Yeah, there you go. That's the best way to do it.
He was mean to me when I was a kid.
Please don't. I don't think that's actually the Briscoe's dad, but go on.
I don't know. They're gonna be related somehow.
I don't think they are at all.
Really?
No,
A name like that?
I'll look it
both
up.
Wrestling? No, dude. Wrestling, they're both two Briscoes families in wrestling. No, that can't even be. No, fuck off.
No, his dad's Mike Briscoe.
Who is related to Jerry?
Sure.
Come on. Really, what's the odds? Seriously, think about it. Two Briscoe families in wrestling?
I'm looking it up. Keep talking.
Okay, we got a lot of dead air here. That's never good for something. I don't know. Oh shit. This goes on, and I hate reading this, but PW Insider PW Insider also heard that Mercedes Moné went into the match with Vakir with the express goal of making Stephanie Vakir and getting the CMLL star over with the live crowd. Let me just... If Mercedes Moné really thought that she had to put over Vakir, get her over, make her important, make her seem like she's better than... You did a horrible fucking job of it because you didn't fake all those botches. I know that much. You're not that dumb. And Stephanie Vakir is also already well known through New Japan and CMLL. She had 3 titles. Maybe she's not known to the common fan, but hey, guess what, Mercedes? The common fan don't watch AEW either, so you didn't fucking put her over to anybody.
You didn't put her over because guess who won the match? That's the way I look at it. Stephanie
100%.
Vakir lost. She looked great in the match, but she didn't win the title. You were the one holding up the title.
She looked great because she looked great. You looked like shit, Mercedes.
Yeah. No, fuck that.
And also, it is true. If she thought that putting it over to the fans, what fans? You guys, all your fans are hardcore wrestling fans that only watch real wrestling, so they know all about the other promotions. If you're going to actually do something like that, you'd have to do it in WWE, where the common fan does watch.
Agreed.
And one last thing. Just yesterday, WWE filed a trademark for Super Brawl as an event name.
Ooh, okay.
So maybe... Just this is my thought process on this. They're pushing Royal Rumble already into early February. Hold up. February doesn't have a pay. No, it does. Elimination Chamber. Fuck, it's ruined. Continue.
It's February.
Oh no, wait. WrestleMania is now like being pushed all the way up to June. So
what?
May, early May, late
No.
April. I don't know.
We don't know yet.
So March doesn't have a pay-per-view, so they can push Elimination Chamber into March. Mid-April is WrestleMania, or late April, or early June. And then Royal Rumbles can be pushed into February, and then you can have the Super Brawl the same weekend as the Super Bowl.
Yeah, sure. I'm here. I'm trying to think. Are you sure Elimination Chamber is in?
No, it is early March. It is in March, isn't it? March? I don't know. I can't remember. Anyways, that's all I got. Really, honestly, you saw me stretching for news this week. There really wasn't a lot of anything big.
Honestly, I don't really have anything. Apparently, talks with Ricochet are underway for AEW. It's not official, but they're expecting him to show up. His agent was backstage at Dynamite this week. And we'll talk about Daniel Garcia, but apparently his contract's coming to a close in the fall of 2024, if not a little earlier. He could be hitting a free agent's he could be hitting free agency at 26 years old this year. We'll see, but I doubt they go anywhere because they're, as they said on commentary, he's the backbone of AEW now, apparently. So, other than that, I think we hit on Natalia last week. They apparently have been engaging in contract talks, but as of right now, she's not re-signed with WWE. So, I don't have anything else. That's about it. So, other than that, a boom. Before we talk about SmackDown, I really don't want to talk about Forbidden Door. We did it. We already did it. If you can catch our immediate reactions after we watch the show on the channel, it's in the live.
I do have one thing to say about
We did. Yeah, go ahead.
Forbidden Door. Well, two things actually. So we didn't touch on Britt Baker. Honestly, I missed the whole segment because I was on the phone dealing with work shit.
Mhm.
And honestly, at that point, Kurt rewound it back to the point. I'm like, I don't really give a fuck at this point. The live reaction, I was trying to be, I don't know, political in a way about the show, but as I really thought about it more, outside of like the last 3 matches, that whole card fucking sucked. It was bad. It was so boring. The first 4 matches were so fucking boring. I was dead. And then when it did get interested, I didn't care at that point anymore.
I
That was a
wasn't.
horrible pay-per-view.
Don't judge me for this, but I wasn't a big. I liked the match, but I didn't think the match was the greatest. Was Moxley Naito? I didn't think that match was that good. Looking back, it was good, but it wasn't like. It wasn't.
I don't agree with you, but that's because I'm a fan of both of them. So I'm
Right.
gonna have
I
a
am
biased opinion
too,
towards it.
but let me rephrase. It was a
I'm
good
not gonna
match.
be I'm not gonna be subjective on it because I'm a fan of both.
It was a good match, but it wasn't as good as I thought it could have been, if that makes sense. I thought there was I thought they needed maybe more time. I don't know. There was a couple things that didn't happen that I was like, oh, that's weird. But nonetheless, we can run through it. Just real quick. Mercedes. We already talked about Mercedes beating Bakor. She's now the champion.
No, I don't want to run through it. I don't want to run through
I'm
it.
not.
I gave my
Britt.
opinion on it.
Britt showed up and upstaged her, and we'll talk about that on Dynamite. Britt got actually a massive pop when she showed up, as she should. And yeah, Naito is.
I hope AEW has the balls to take Britt over Monet on this one. She is your homegrown talent. She is your biggest fucking star. If you continue to put Monet over and you make her bigger than Britt, you fucked up.
We'll see. They'll be facing each other at Wembley, I think. Naito is the New Japan World Champion again, as it should be. And Swerve Strickland successfully defended against Will Ospreay. Those are kind of the 3 big matches.
And going back, this is where I was just being a bitch. That match was really fucking good.
It was a good match. Those were kind of the 3 big deal matches. The Elite.
The ladder match wasn't even really that good.
Wasn't as good as it normally is for an AEW thing. Jack Perry is the new TNT champion, and then immediately cut a promo and spit on the title because that's awesome. I'm trying to get a new deal, but let's spit on the TNT title. The Elite defeated the weird pairing of
that match was fucking horrible.
Terrible match. Okada looks like a massive fucking clown. Really, that's the other things that stand out.
This guy was the best wrestler in the world, and now he's fucking playing arrogant. I mean, I get it for Tanahashi. That's his gimmick, but Okada going and doing it, that's just a joke.
No, that other than that, nothing else really stood out to me. If you want to talk about, I'll mention it because we'll talk about it in a Dynamite. Hook, Samoa Joe, and Shibata beat the Learning Tree, Chris Jericho, and Jeff Cobb. The finish was Hook stealing Jericho's Judas Effect. The only reason I'm mentioning that is because we'll talk about the hilarious segment once we get to Dynamite.
Okay, so
yeah,
Jericho honestly probably shouldn't wrestle anymore. He's
not great in the ring.
He's old and slow in the ring. But fucking give that man a mic every day and he'll fucking cut you gold.
Yes. All right, well, let's talk about gold. Let's talk about AEW. No more AEW talk. Let's talk about good shit. And that was SmackDown from Madison Square Garden. Madison Square Garden, SmackDown. We get right into the action here. We show Paul with the Bloodline in the parking lot. Paul asking, "Where's Jacob Fatu?" And Solo says, "I listen to you, wise man. He's not here." They go to the ramp, and then the cameras cut to Randy Orton, Kevin Owens, and Cody Rhodes pulling up right behind the same car that the Bloodline got out of. And they go to the ramp, and we get a stare down, and it is an all-out brawl to kick off SmackDown. And man, this was beautiful. There was no talking, no commentary. Commentary wasn't even talking. There wasn't much to say. It was just an all-out brawl between the Bloodline, Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, and Kevin Owens. We had Kevin Owens doing a senton off of the guardrails onto a table. Swanton, sorry. And they just a massive brawl. Security guards finally get it under control before we get to commercial. We come back from commercial. Cody, Randy, and Kevin Owens are still in the ring. And all this says, I think you said this. It's Madison Square Garden. They got the New York City police involved. NYPD officers come out to get everything figured out to escort Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens, and Randy Orton out. Yeah, this was just a beautiful way to open up SmackDown.
Honestly,
oh, sorry. My favorite part, I meant to say this. Cody stated that Solo Sikoa was not a tribal chief, but a seat filler.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up too. So thanks for stealing my thunder. I'm color.
It's normally
You're just the broadcaster.
Normally my thing where I give the rundown, and that was on my rundown.
Well, yeah. Well, you didn't say it, and I'm the color guy, and I'm supposed to add color to it, and you took away the color, and
well, shut the fuck up.
Now I got nothing.
And color up. Come on, color.
I'll fucking get some color here. Give me a fucking knife.
Blade on this podcast.
Oh, fuck, I forgot what I was going to say. Yes, this opening, Madison Square Garden, really, honestly, what are you going to expect? You want a big opening. You want to get the crowd in it right off the hop. How do you do that? You bring out MJF versus Roosh. Sorry, that's what AEW does. Yes, so this opening, so fucking good, man. So fucking good. Paul Heyman, Solo, Jacob Fatu's not here. Yeah, right, he's not there. All this shit, all this in there, all this continuing to be doing an amazing job as general manager. Cool lines from Rhodes. Out coming back from break. My screen just blanked out. Rhodes talking about how this arena there's a world title shot, but instead he has to deal with something that he ended at WrestleMania. Rhodes on fire. You and I both want heel Cody Rhodes, but honestly, any version of Cody Rhodes is top tier. So good. And Owens, right? Like, we're like going, is Owens about to... Yeah, Owens is about to do some crazy shit. And He swantons off the top railing, 15, 20 feet down. Like, dude's like my age. If I did that, I wouldn't be moving for the next year. Bravo, W. So fucking good. And this opening, in comparison, like, if you didn't know what the ending was... this opening is amazing, but in comparison to the finish, this opening is kind of like tame because
we'll get
they
to
cooked
it.
tonight. They cooked.
The SmackDown was deserved of the highest rating of the week, to be fair. Fantastic SmackDown. And as we said, it continues to get better with the Women's Money in the Bank qualifier triple threat match. Tiffany Stratton defeats Candice LeRae and Jade Cargill via pinfall. There was a couple of interferences here with Nia Jax and Bianca Belair distracting with Jade Cargill. Jade gets laid out and taken out of the match. And I think we both agreed with like Tiffany should win this. I didn't really want to see Jade Cargill in a Money in the Bank match, and that's nothing against Jade Cargill. We didn't talk about it in the news, but apparently you heard that some higher ups maybe aren't too happy with her.
Keep burying my leads. Thanks.
Well, why didn't you talk about it in the news? You should have said it.
Because I had a plan to talk about it right now.
I'm gonna finish my story. Get the fuck out of here.
You know what? This guy is seriously gonna bring out heel me. So
man.
Bury
my lead. I gotta do the shut up.
Anyways, nonetheless, this match, meh. It was okay. the right woman won in this match. Tiffany Stratton is a superstar. I don't know if she's going to be the one that wins the Money in the Bank. We'll have our uh preview for that tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah. I have plenty of
Yeah,
time.
we're gonna drop a special video. We're gonna do a live SmackDown review plus our previews for the weekend's 2 pay-per-views. So if I think I told you we're gonna do that,
You
right?
did, you did.
Okay, cool.
I just,
Anyways, you looked a little
you,
shocked.
the way you worded that, you clarify that we're doing the SmackDown review live after it's
No.
over,
Yes.
and
Sort of.
then we're recording the.
We might as well just do it all live. It's the same thing in the end, is it not?
All right, sure. Hey, whatever you want to do. You cook up
All
the
right.
graphics, and I'll do the talking.
All right. Good. Then I'll just
Color up.
maybe I'll make a graphic of myself and then I'll just leave.
Just a still shot of you there. My bounce ideas off of Steel Arcade.
Anyways, yeah, this match was whatever. The right woman won. Jade Cargill, yes, there's been some news that rumors. I honestly nobody's confirmed this, but there are rumors that upper officials in WWE are actually quite disappointed in Jade Cargill's progress, her in-ring skill and whatnot. They're not concerned about her persona per se, but they're worried that she's not progressing as her in-ring work. And I guess I don't know. I'm not digging in too deeply. She does have the persona to carry herself, and I like her in matches. I don't really give a shit if she's amazing or not. Keep putting her in matches like this where it can hide a little bit, whatever. But that's business. If she can't figure it out at some point, can't. If I stuck to my job, I wouldn't be getting paid money. So
Yeah, true that. Up next, Naomi and the WWE Women's Champion Bayley are talking about Tiffany's win, saying Stratton would be is going to be very annoying now that she qualified for Money in the Bank. They get interrupted by Blair Davenport, saying that Bayley and Naomi had a little cute thing, but assured Bayley that her days as champion were numbered.
Blair Davenport, she has it. She has something about her. I can't quite pinpoint what it is. It's just she has this. What do they say about Zoe Stark? No aura. Fucking Blair Davenport has that aura. When she's on screen, she has something about her that just says, you know what? She has it. I think she has it. I want to see where this goes. I think they could use Blair Davenport really well in this angle.
Yeah. I talked about it when we were watching it. We didn't get much when we started doing this of Blair Davenport. We just had the very tail end of her NXT run, and we're like, all right, well, I don't know much about Blair, but now she's on the main roster and she's getting these moments. I'm very excited to see what they do with Blair. Up next, the Prides, Montez Ford, Angelo Dawkins, and B-Fab are talking to Nick Aldis about wanting a shot at the Bloodline. Aldis said that could not be done because he had already promised the Bloodline their time for their ceremony later in the night. They get interrupted by the Yes Boys, Pretty Deadly, where they're pitching a musical to Nick Aldis, but the Street Profits respond by saying it would be better if they presented Street Profits versus Pretty Deadly, the Beatdown. Aldis agreed and booked a match for later in the show, which would actually get pushed to next week's SmackDown because of the ending segment, which we will, of course, get to. We get a shot of Jalen Brunson in the crowd. We talked about this in the news. Jalen Brunson from the New York Knicks is there. We get Solo Sikoa and Paul Heyman talking backstage, where Heyman asks Solo what the plan tonight was and where is Jacob Fatu. And he reiterates, I took your advice and he is not here. And he was saying that tonight would be about Heyman being named as Solo Sikoa's wise man officially. So once again, I'll say it. We'll get to the finish of the show here soon. The next match was the men's Money in the Bank qualifier triple threat match. LA Knight taking on Logan Paul with Tyrese Halliburton from the Indiana Pacers and Santos Escobar. LA Knight is going to pick up the win here over Logan Paul to put his spot in the Money in the Bank match in Toronto. We talked about how this is where Fox like to mute the audio and black out the screens because of Tyrese Halliburton being there and the fans being pissed off about it. At the end of the match, Jalen Brunson and LA Knight had a nice stare down with Logan Paul and Tyrese before Logan Paul and Halliburton rolled out of the ring. Match itself was really good. All three of these guys are really actually talented in the ring. Santos too, even though I'm not a big fan in the ring, pretty good worker. And LA Knight and Logan Paul are fantastic. What do you think of this whole situation here?
This shows how in touch WWE is with getting heat
Oh
on
yeah,
things. They knew what they were doing. Brunson, Halliburton, Logan Paul, everything. Just it's WWE just weaving this story out of fucking nowhere just to create more heat on Logan Paul. Really, in the end, this match was really fucking good. You just said it yourself, Santos Escobar. Same feelings. Not a huge fan, but he can go in the ring. And it was actually kind of cool that they didn't make Escobar the designated victim in this match, which would have been the easy thing to do, right? But this was really about Knight and Paul. Um, LA Knight is winning this match not to win the Money in the Bank, but probably to set up Logan Paul in a way to screw LA Knight out of winning the Money in the Bank to set up the match for SummerSlam.
yeah.
Um, it's all long term storytelling. It's so good. This is what WWE does so well. Logan Paul is going to cost LA Knight the chance. LA Knight's going to have his hands on that briefcase. You know, Logan Paul is going to cost him it. It's going to happen, and it's going to be so good when it happens because it's just going to fuel the fires of this feud, and it's going to make probably what potentially could be one of the best matches of SummerSlam, depending on if we get some returns here in the next month. I'm here for it, man. What a good match. This was a good fucking match.
Backstage, we have Baron Corbin and Apollo Crews talking about the Money in the Bank match before Carmelo Hayes interrupts, where he makes the comment that he is the only Carmelo in Madison Square Garden to have won a world title. Nice shot at Carmelo Anthony. Before telling Crews and Corbin not to count him out from winning Money in the Bank. We get a video package, of course, paying the life to Roman Reigns' late father, Sika, part of the Wild Samoans, featuring Rikishi, The Undertaker, Michael Cole, Paul Heyman, and many more. Condolences to the Anawahi family, the passing of Sika, one of the legends of the Samoan dynasty. And as I said, the father of Roman Reigns. We get a vignette of Andrade El Idolo, where he was here to take over and promise to take everything after winning the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. The next women's Money in the Bank qualifier match was Naomi, Blair Davenport, and Indy Hartwell. I kind of wanted Blair to win this. She did not. Naomi is going to pick up the win here to go to Money in the Bank. We get the finish when Jade Cargill attacked Indy Hartwell at ringside because Indy had interfered earlier in the night in her match, allowing Naomi to pick up the win. What did you think of this one?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm happy that Naomi won. This is classic Money in the Bank style, though. Get some young guns in there, get some veterans in there, mix it up, right? I just feel like having Blair Davenport and Indy Hartwell in this match, one of those two should have won it.
I really thought it should have been Blair, and that's nothing against Indy, but Blair, as we just talked about a second ago, the aura thing, she's got it, and I think she would have fit
I
well with that.
I do think she would have. Yeah, I don't know. The match was fine, nothing amazing. Again, Jade Cargill, or no, sorry, Jade Cargill coming out. Yeah, Jade Cargill coming out to interfere with. I don't know. I don't know.
Just to
I'm
get
not
back
feeling
from
it.
earlier.
I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like it.
Up next, DIY were interviewed backstage. They were interrupted by Austin Theory, who is back. And Gargano continuing to emphasize to his former The Way teammate that Grayson Waller
Pause.
was.
Pause. 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 If the people watching this have not seen any of the videos that DIY have been putting out, mainly Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, there's 3 of them now. The most recent one, Tommaso trying to disguise this time to do it at Madison Square Garden. These videos are hilarious. Tommaso's just trying to RKO Randy out of nowhere and fails every time. And these videos are hilarious.
I
So funny.
need Tommaso to finish the story and get that RKO in. Anyway, we had Gargano emphasizing the theory that he's being used by Grayson Waller. It was a trap. Waller attacks him. And this is going to lead to we have a tag team championship match on SmackDown the next week. But let's get to the main event, the main reason, not a match, a segment of the Bloodline acknowledgement ceremony. The Bloodline, Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, and Paul Heyman are in the ring. Heyman does his usual to kick off the proceedings and is interrupted by Solo, where he, to the shock of Heyman, not to us, introduces the Samoan werewolf, Jacob Fatu, with his own entrance, own pyro, own music. I loved this entrance.
You can tell right off the hop WWE's pushing this motherfucker like to
Yes.
the moon because Solo don't even have that kind of fucking pyro.
Yes. And then Solo, to the shock of me, tells Madison Square Garden to acknowledge him. And I was like, oh, here we go. And he has every member of the Bloodline come up to the microphone to acknowledge him. They all do, and it comes to Paul Heyman. He asks Paul to acknowledge him and put the tribal beads around him to basically say, you are the tribal chief. Paul Heyman with the mic and the beads in his hand, who was also very shocked that Solo got his hands on these beads, goes to acknowledge Solo and says, I acknowledge that you are not my tribal chief. This causes the
Okay,
Bloodline.
to answer your question from last week, because I never actually looked it up, and I just looked it up now because I wanted to know, because I looked it up and I didn't look it up, and then I looked it up and I forgot to tell you, and I looked it up again just now to tell you. So, Ula Fala is the name of the necklace.
Okay. So that was to designate Solo as the tribal chief. If Paul Heyman was to be the one to do it, he did not. He did not acknowledge him. He says, you are not my tribal chief. This causes the
Crowd
Bloodline
popped.
massive.
Popped. Huge fucking
Massive.
pop.
Videos from in the arena are amazing. On TV, it was fantastic. Solo reacts by hitting him with a spike. Tonga Loa and Tama Tonga set him up for a splash from Jacob Fatu. Not a splash, I'm sorry, a headbutt to Paul Heyman. And I'm like, okay, there it is. They drag Paul Heyman outside and they hit him with a triple power bomb through the table. The Bloodline stands tall over Paul Heyman's body to end the broadcast. Paul Heyman just went through a table on SmackDown in Madison Square Garden, and it was beautiful. This is the same guy that had to sneak into Madison Square Garden as a photographer for professional wrestling events and is now getting put through a table at 58 years old to further on a storyline. And this just shows how good Paul Heyman is. He didn't sleep the night before to have his eyes look red. Man, this was a beautiful segment.
You don't understand this color commentary thing very well. So yeah, Kurt just said everything I was gonna say. So cool. Okay, cool. So yeah, this was great. This was fantastic. Paul Heyman is 58 years old. He did go through a table. He did not sleep all night. Just to give the effect of just looking completely worn out. Yeah, that's all I got.
Back to you, Bob. All right. Well, I got you when we get to Raw here. I will not steal the lead. I will just report and let you go. I got you. I got you. I'm so sorry. But overall, what did you
I mean,
think?
this is like the commentator for hockey going, Ovechkin just scored the goal. That's his 50th goal of the year. Also, just to let you know, that's also his 857th goal of his career, which puts him shy 42 goals of Wayne Gretzky's record. What do you got, John, on the color side of this? Nothing.
Yeah.
Okay, back to you, Bob. Thank you.
That. All right, I got you. We get to Raw. What'd you think of SmackDown as a whole?
This show was really good, start to finish. The matches don't mean much of fucking anything in this. Two of them weren't great. They weren't horrible. They weren't great. They were whatever. But the show itself of the whole was so well put together. The start, the finish, the match in the middle. It was that perfect roller coaster of a show where you got a big opening, a little bit of a down, and then a big middle part. The Logan Paul, LA Knights, Santos Escobar with the Brunson and Halliburton angle and everything. So good. And then back down and then back up for the finish, which was just huge. There's a reason this show drew 2.2 million fans, has a 0.66 rating, which is unheard of this day and age for really much of anything. This show dominated everything. It's phenomenal. Such a great show. This is WWE cooking at its top. I said it when all the news reports like, oh, WWE's in a lull, they're not really doing much of anything. Just wait for SummerSlam season. Shit's gonna pick up, and it's picking up.
It has. So let's get into Monday Night Raw. Jey Uso.
I'm gonna go grab a coffee, a little bit of food. You just go through and do my part as well again, and that'd be great.
All right. Jey Uso is going to kick off Monday Night Raw with a beautiful entrance per usual. Chad Gable interrupts him, and it's basically just about Chad being a scumbag, I think, here. They end up fighting. Before Chad can get hit with a move, the Wyatts come out. Gable runs away. What did you think here?
This was good. The opening, you and I were both like, oh, there's just a crowd, and then all of a sudden Jay just appears out of nowhere, and it was just like, oh, this is fucking cool. Comes down through the crowd. He does have that little confrontation with Jack Gable. Gable's doing good shit right now. All that stuff, and then the Wyatt Six, and the fact that we're getting this right off the hop, they're wrapping it up. You had the silhouettes of three of the members. You had Sister Abigail bring out another box. And actually, funny side note to that, if you look online, Jey Uso hid under the ring when he's like, "Oh, I'm out of here. I don't want no smoke." And then after the left, he comes back out. He's like going, "They gone? Yeah, they gone. Okay, guys, 1, 2, 3, yeet." And then just takes off. So it's good shit. Jay's on fire right now. Really, honestly, when you think about it, Jay is probably one of the hottest things WWE has going for them right now. Is when Roman comes back, when Jimmy comes back, and everything. I wasn't expecting this from Jay to become this hot on his own. He has exploded into one of the top guys, and I honestly did not see it coming. And I'm so happy for him because everything he does is amazing. He had another backstage interview with Kathy Kelly saying, "Hey, that girl again. We got to go." So everything he does is so good right now.
The opening match was Xavier Woods and Karrion Kross. Xavier Woods picks up the win over Karrion Kross. This match was okay in my eyes. What did you think of it?
I don't know why. I just want WWE to let Karrion Kross go full psycho. I'm gonna say this every week until one of those motherfuckers watches our fucking pod or listens to us and goes, "Oh yeah, no, this guy might have a point." Just let Kross go full cycle. I did like the little ending to it and everything, but overall, I just need Kross to crush everybody in his path. Just full on madman, bring back the hourglass gimmick, fucking just. I just want more from Karrion. He's right there. It's just, I don't know. The fans just aren't resonating with it. It's not coming off, but they did get some heat finally from this one. They had some heat by the end of this match.
They beat down.
So hopefully they're really trying to push him. It's just I don't know if they're allowing him to go all the way with this.
Up next was Damian Priest and Dominic Mysterio being shown talking about all the issues going on and nothing was going right. But Damian asked Dom if everything's all good with Rhea. Dom says yes. And Damian calls him on his bullshit because he says he just talked to Rhea and she is not happy. Inside the clubhouse is Liv Morgan playing WWE 2K with the boys. Once again, this storyline is just the best. She's playing 2K with Carlito, Finn, and JD. She bails out when she sees Minner, and then we get a discussion between Finn and Damian where he basically says, "You've changed since you've been champion."
Have I not pointed it out before, and I'm going to point it out again?
Yeah.
It's all part of Liv's and Finn's master plan to bring down the Judgment Day. Yeah, this is a good segment. I don't really have a whole lot to add to it other than that everything's so good. Their stories are on point right now, and this Liv angle is so fucking good. And how they're weaving it in and getting the members to turn on each other because of it and all that's so good. And you brought up a hilarious point about a tweet about the game after the JD.
Yeah, I think it was this week. In the background on the 2K, you can see JD playing as himself, Carlito and Finn in a 3-on-1 handicap match, and they're beating down Braun Strowman, and a fan pointed it out, and JD responded by saying it's just called studying your opponent. It's good shit. Good shit by JD. And the fact that that's what they were doing in the background just makes it even better. That's just funny to me.
Everything matters. Everything
Yes,
matters.
everything does matter in WWE nowadays. The Women's World Championship match was up next between Liv Morgan and Zelina Vega. Liv Morgan is going to retain her title against Zelina here. Of course, Dominic showed up to interfere and to help Vega win. Threw her a chair. She hits him with it instead, allowing Liv Morgan to get the win. What do you think here of this match for the Women's World Championship?
Man, Zelina Vega. She looked amazing tonight. This match was really fucking good. It's cool to see Vega getting that title shot on a Raw like that and everything. And obviously, you knew the outcome, but how they got there was cool with the chair and then Vega, throwing it back at Dom and everything. Like, it was a good, fun match. It was very well put together. Vega feels like she does have the skill to win this match. It just obviously storyline is just not going to work out. But I'm liking what I'm seeing from Zelina lately. They're giving her a good little push here, and I like it. She's actually really fucking good.
I don't think it sucks because I don't think she'll be a world champion, even though I wouldn't mind it. But a part of me is
She's
also
got
kind
the
of
skills.
she's not bad on
It's
the mic
not.
either. But
No, it's yeah.
I would have rather her been in the freaking Money in the Bank match. I think she could put on a good showing in one of those. But nonetheless, she comes up short here in this one. Up next, Seth Rollins comes out to the ring to preview his match with Damian Priest for Money in the Bank. He is interrupted by Finn Balor. Rollins claims that Finn's jealous because he actually won a world title and has held on to it, whereas Finn won it and had to relinquish it not even 24 hours after due to injury. Priest comes out and says he doesn't need Balor in his business. Balor attempting to jump Seth, which Damian doesn't like, pulls him away. There's a nice confrontation. This is you continuously telling the story in your eyes of what's going on with Damian and Finn.
It's good. It's so good. I Seth Rollins sold this really. Seth Rollins sold this really well. He's like, this is a trap, and Damian's like, no, it's not. But Finn's got other plans. It's so good. It's like,
right.
It's
It's gonna be interesting once we get to
I just hope. I hope that once it's all said and done, they go back to that video that I was talking about where it's AJ, Liv, and Finn talking about having to take down the Judgment Day, and they go, this was the plan all from the beginning.
I will give you all the credit in the world if they do that. Ludwig Kaiser is shown in a vignette. He vows a vengeance on Sheamus for busting his ribs up. So I think you read a report in the news that Ludwig was hurt, and it may be true. His ribs may be messed up, and we'll see what happens with that. I think this is the final Money in the Bank qualifying match for the women, and it was Zoe Stark, Dakota Kai, and Ivy Nile. Great match. We both talked about how Zoe could go, but Zoe Stark's going to pick up the win over Dakota Kai and Ivy Nile. What do you think here of this match?
All right, I was only busting your balls on SmackDown. You can actually go a little bit more into depth on things, but anyways, unless
that's actually all I have.
Yeah, no, it's fine. The match is. I've said this before, and I say this a lot. I said this before. I'll say it again. I'm going to say it again. I'm going to continue saying it until I say it some more, and then hopefully, it comes true. Not Ivy now. Zoe Stark. Zoe Stark is actually really fucking good in the ring. That top rope drop kick, springboard drop kick is ridiculously hard to do because all your momentum is carrying you forward, and you got to flip around to the drop kick. Like how you watch her, like did the slow mo replay of it. How you watch her feet come off and then she rotates her. That's not easy to do. I can't. I know I couldn't do it. Not saying a whole lot, but that was pretty cool. But anyways, I just wish Zoe does have the issue of she really doesn't have any charisma.
Not on the mic at all. People were talking about how they feel like they're burying Dakota Kai, and Dakota went on her Twitch stream and was talking about a push. And people pointed out that when Dakota was introduced in this match, Michael Cole put over on commentary that basically what Dakota had said on her stream and all this, that, and the other. And they were like, maybe she does deserve a chance. Michael Cole wouldn't have said that if he wasn't told to say that. Let him cook. There's something coming.
No, something is coming. You can see it in previous episodes. Damage control. There's going to be an angle between Dakota and Io here at some point. It's going to be good too. Dakota's got charisma. She's got talent. She's got the look. This is something that's going to happen. They can't have a million storylines going at once. They got to keep some stuff for the future. They got shit planned out. They're already planning out WrestleMania. Okay, they got stories waiting upon stories after stories. They don't just fly by the seat of their pants. They do have to pivot at times because of injuries and all this shit. And as we learned from that WrestleMania doc, crowd reactions and all that stuff, they do pivot. But they have stories just waiting. In like I said last week, they have storylines ready for Rhea when she comes back. She can be inserted into the storyline at any point.
Can't wait. Cannot wait.
You're muted.
What?
I can't hear you.
Yeah, I'm muted.
Oh, no. Technical difficulties.
So
Go ahead.
I am not muted, sir. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know how I'm muted. Up next was you're muted now.
No, I'm not.
Up next was the Wyatt VHS tape continuation. The next THA step was given to Michael Cole again, sent to the truck. This was a continuation of Bo Dallas and his conversation with Uncle Howdy, revealing that Howdy was alone in this room the whole time, that it is just Bo Dallas in his own head. Bo saying he didn't pick his family members. They came to him. Main point was speaking about people that belittle their families for their personal gain and that he was going to make them pay. Just another continuation of the story here. I loved this VHS tape. I love what they're doing with Uncle Howdy.
We've become the reckoning. We are the reckoning. It's not exactly the angle I thought they'd go. I kind of like to see a little vignette with all the members. But that being said, it's why I'm not a writer for WWE, because in the end, this was actually this was good. This was good. The whole melding together of the two forms, becoming the one, and realizing this whole time Bo's just fucking lost in his head. He's having this. It's all in his head. It's so fucking good.
Because of this, we see Chad Gable backstage with Otis saying that, hey, that part of that video, that was about me, man. The belittling the family, that was about me. And Otis staying strong, though. He will not protect Chad Gable, believing that this is Chad's battle to fight on his own.
Think about this for a second. And just, he's talking about family, right? I'm just refresh my memory on it. Does Chad Gable consider Otis, Maxine, and Tozawa family?
Yes.
Is that how? Okay.
He has said it multiple times that we're a family, guys.
Because I'm just trying to think, like, maybe this is all a swerve for why it's real victim per se.
And you think that is?
I still think it's Jay.
He did turn on the bloodline, didn't he? He did leave his family. I can see where you get that, but I think it could be both of them. I think it should be all of those. But
100%. But I just think maybe, there's going 100%. It's all about Chad Gable, but then last second it's Swerve, and it's been Jay this whole time.
Yeah. Up next, Rey Mysterio is going to defeat his son, Dominic Mysterio. Why and how? The match wasn't great, but it was the story of Liv Morgan attempting to help Dom, but failing, and as they left, apologizing profusely to Dom. She's so sorry. I'll make it up to you, I promise. Blah, 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 this, that. Great stuff from them. What'd you think of the match and the post-match?
Honestly, the match itself was fine. Ray's a legend. Legend. Dominic Mysterio, I said it a couple weeks ago. He's legit. He's gonna have a long career, just like Ray. He's only improving all the time. The match itself was fine. The angle's cool. Everything. It's just the feud between Ray and Dom is over. That's just. I'm not feeling the heat there anymore. I mean, they're trying to push it, but they really should just kind of take Ray out of this and just leave it between Dom, Liv,
Save
and the
it.
Bloodline.
So if they want to do Dom and Ray, save it for when it's time for Ray to hang it up.
Yeah, I'm
Then
just the
then we
match
can go.
itself doesn't scream like I want to care about the match. I get the match itself is fine. The Liv angle, totally everything works. I just don't care about Dom and Ray fighting each other. I just don't.
Up next was an in-ring segment. Sami Zayn and Braun Breaker with the confrontation leading up to their Intercontinental Championship match at Money in the Bank. Sami saying that he was going to beat Braun per usual, and Sami Zayn is a fantastic promo every time he's in the ring. Braun interrupts, saying he plans to break Sami. Sami saying, "I've heard that way too many times." The main point of this was not the words, but Braun hits him with a spear, and I think you said out of nowhere, a spear. Goes to leave, but then he goes to do his where he runs around the ring at full speed to catch him. Goes to hit him with it. Sami leaps him, hits him into the stairs, sets up for the Aluva kick, but then guess what? Another spear. Braun stood tall here. Braun Breaker, Sami Zayn. We'll get into the predictions when we get to them tomorrow, but I'm really looking forward to their match.
Oh, this match is gonna be good. If all the reports are true and everything, and it does look like they're definitely leaning towards this, how do you not put the title on Braun here?
You got to. It's time. Just do it. Sami will be fine.
Oh, you're losing to the next big thing.
Yeah, truly. And yeah, I'm
Actually, what's funny? So my buddy, we were a little bit behind watching it, but my buddy texted me about 7:15, which is like the live time that this part of the show happened. And he texted me, he's like, "This Braun guy he's a Steiner, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's Rick's kid." He's like, "Yeah, yeah, that makes sense." He's like, "This is the first Raw that because he's working down in Wyoming right now, and I guess he's staying with guys that watch wrestling, so."
those are good
Awesome. But he's
guys.
like, this
Good lads.
first
Good
Raw. He's like,
lads.
this is the first Raw that I've watched start to finish and go, they're cooking. He's like, and he's not a wrestling fan, but like, this was a really good show. And he's just like,
Yeah.
that Braun guy, he's legit. I'm like, yeah, he is. He's got everything the Steiners had, plus more.
Yes. Up next, before we get to the main event, the final match of the night, it was an altercation backstage between Damage Control and Lyra Valkyria, Caden Carter, and Katana Chance. So we're setting up for a 6-woman tag match of some sort for that. But the main event, men's Money in the Bank qualifying match, this was the final match.
Wasn't that confirmed for next week?
I think
Anyways,
so. I don't
yeah.
have it in my notes. This is
Pretty
the
sure it's
final.
confirmed for Raw on Monday.
Gotcha. I think you're right. This is the final men's Money in the Bank qualifying match to determine who will be the final member in that ladder match in Toronto, Canada. Drew McIntyre taking on Sheamus and Ilya Dragunov. Drew's going to pick up the win in what was a really, really damn good match. A couple high spots. I know you're going to hit on one. I can't wait to relive that one in my head. Ilya and Sheamus. And it's spacing your mind here. I mean, I can reiterate if I have to. The spot I'm speaking of is Ilya Dragunov going for a coast to coast, and Sheamus hitting him with a bro kick to the nuts.
Okay, yeah.
That was a
I was
pretty cool
think
spot.
I was in between either it was the H bomb off the apron to the
Those
outside,
two of them, well,
or
one and then in the ring.
the one was I gotta find a better way to say this, but I've said this before and I'll say it again. Every time Ilya's out there, it looks like he's actually trying to hurt people, which is just how good he
And the
is.
emotion he's selling is Ilya is fantastic. I just saw something, and I'm gonna find it and play it probably when we get off here because I have to really look for it. Apparently, Ilya in a independent wrestling promotion was a true-blooded American character for the 4th of July. And there's a video of him cutting a promo as an American. I didn't get to listen to it, but I got to go find that.
Is it
And I
like the
will.
time Sami Zayn thought he was black?
That was Can't do that nowadays. That was hilarious. So Sami Zayn being, yeah, but yeah, Drew McIntyre picking up the
Oh,
win.
that's what it was. He was a member of the Black Panthers.
That's right. Drew picks up the win over Sheamus and Ilya in a fantastic match. What'd you think? And Drew McIntyre's going to Money in the Bank.
Man, when they announced this match, obviously you're like, okay, 3 very physical fucking dudes going up against. This is gonna be a wild match, and they did not disappoint. They just beat the fucking shit out of each other in this match. And like I said, the H bombs and the Torpedo Moscow and the Bro Kick and the Claymores and everything was wild. It was just a big physical match of 3 dudes beating the shit out of each other. And Drew's the right one to win because, just like I said, Logan Paul is going to have something to do with LA Knight in this Money in the Bank match. CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, whoever wins the world title at Money in the Bank, all this shit. Drew claiming that whoever he's gonna win, cash it in that night, win the title. CM Punk is apparently out with injury. That's still he is injured, but the kayfabe injury with the Drew beatdown, which was awesome. Everything. We're gonna have an explosive finish to Money in the Bank.
Yeah, agreed.
Guaranteed. Something crazy is gonna happen. CM Punk is, I don't know, man. Something's gonna happen, and I can't wait to see what it is.
If the main event of Money in the Bank is Drew or is Damian and Seth, I can see it happening. That is if Drew wins. But if the main event of Money in the Bank is the Kevin Owens, Randy Orton, and Cody versus the Bloodline match, Roman
I
Reigns
think
is
that
coming back.
opens.
If that closes, Roman Reigns is coming. That's the only thing I can think of. Like you wouldn't have that finish over a men's ladder match and the title match. Well, they already said that Drew kind of already hinted that the Money in the Bank match would be before the title match. But
Honestly, the way they're setting up this pay-per-view, it's probably one of the biggest pay-per-views since WrestleMania. All the shit that could happen. And then also a flip side on the Bloodline stuff. I watched a video earlier, a couple days ago, of Zilla Fatu. You want to see a guy that knows how to use the Samoan spike in crazy fucking ways. That guy literally hits the Samoan spike out of nowhere. He does like crazy
and Zilla is Umaga's blood son.
Yeah.
He's got a tattoo of Umaga right on his chest too.
It's a compilation of spikes from Zilla Fatu. His spike is Solo spike looks weak as shit compared to Zilla's spike.
Get your ass over here. Come on, Zilla. We need you too. But yeah, that's Monday Night Raw. Anything to add before we hop over to NXT?
Drew McIntyre continuing to be on fire. The picture posting with his wife and his dog and the bracelet and everything.
Yes.
Oh,
I should have,
so
man, looking back, I should have chose Drew as my wrestler of the mid-year awards. Because this has been a real good year from Drew. Cody made sense to me, but
we picked him both picked him
that's
promo.
fair. But man, wrestler of the year too could have worked for him because he's on fire.
Yeah. But you're gonna go Cody because you're one of the crybabies saying he's gotta finish his story.
Mm-hmm. I have a tattoo schedule. I'm gonna get the American Nightmare logo right here on my neck too. Yeah. Get ready. I'm kidding. He did have to finish his story though, and I'm happy he did. Anyway,
good thing you work in the trades because that thing right there is called the job killer.
Unless you're in professional wrestling or a trade. Before we get to NXT, I got to run to the bathroom and grab a drink. And with that being said, we'll be right back. And we're back. Welcome back. We are into the NXT review of things. Had to go to the bathroom and grab a drink. Shout out to Propel strawberry lemonade flavor. Really good. Really good. What?
We gotta stop plugging shit for free, man.
Hold on, here.
No, dude. Stay tuned for after the show. Kurt will give you his OnlyFans fucking account.
$9.95 for the first 10 subscribers. It's normally $10 a month. That's a deal. And I know deals, guys. Because anyway, NXT from Tuesday, July 2nd, 2024. We kick things off right into it with Jada Parker and Mi Chin in a street fight. And I like this match. Mi Chin pulling out all the equipment, all the stops to go up against Jada Parker. It wasn't enough, as Jada Parker is going to win with that hip attack to finish off Mi Chin. What you think of this street fight? I liked seeing Mi Chin in this element.
I honestly wasn't expecting a whole lot, but then because I'm not a huge Jada Parker fan, I'm really not. But fuck, they beat the piss out of each other in this match. It was thoroughly impressed by the end of this. I thought fantastic job by both the ladies, and in the end, Mishin continues to put over the younger talent because that she is a veteran in that sense. But man, did they both look amazing in this match. So there's if you've ever been in a fight or anything or whatnot, it's not the punch that you see that knocks you out, right? It's the one that you don't see that'll knock you out because your brain's not ready for it. The trash can over the head thing, and then the drop kick, like they don't see that coming. That's gotta you're just waiting for it, and you're just like, I know this is gonna happen, but you don't know exactly when. So you're just like, when you brace, what do you know? Like,
base it
that's
off
always a nasty
footsteps. I don't know. You hear
it? That's just those spots always like I cringe at them because I'm like going, fuck, just one wrong hit, something, anything, you're out cold. But nonetheless, everything was cool about the fire extinguisher to get the upper hand in the end. That was kind of cool. Didn't see that coming. Everything about this match was good. They killed it.
Up next,
the best part of this entire show. Hey, what do you want?
Ariana Grace and Carmen Petrovich are backstage, and Carmen is doing her own thing, and Ariana is in the background doing what I was doing, just sighing and sighing until Carmen gave her the attention she needed. And it was her about being heartbroken about not being on the card for a Hate Wave because it was in her hometown. Carmen saying, "That's my hometown too," and Ariana kind of scoffs at her. JC Jane and Jasmine Nix, though, make fun of them, leading to Petrovic challenging JC. However, your JC just disregards Carmen Petrovich. We will get to that more in a bit.
You forgot a part about Ariana Grace being upset that Sol Ruka snatched her soul last week.
Snatched her soul.
Ariana Grace, I mean,
growing on you? I like her.
I'm here for it, man.
She's got the funny gimmick, kind of like her father. She's got the
which
chops.
is, I think we mentioned that a while back, is that she should just kind of tap into that
Santino Marella. He should just show up because he's the GM in TNA. He should just show up with the Cobra sock and just give it to her and watch her do that. Just fucking somebody with it. I'd laugh. That'd be hilarious. I think she's good. I like Ariana. She's really, her character and in ring. Her last match was okay. I'm not watching her for in ring though, just because her character's so good. Everything she does. Up next, Javon Evans has a vignette talking about the NXT title match at Heat Wave. All four of the competitors will get vignettes throughout the night, so I'm not going to really reiterate on those. Each of them, meaning Javon Evans, All Ego Ethan Page, Sean Spears, and the NXT champion Trick Williams all have vignettes before they have their sit down to close the show. We get another vignette, though, with Kalani Jordan ahead of her title defense of the NXT North American title against Sol Ruka, which will be happening at Heat Wave. New Catch Republic, Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne taking on Hank Walker, and Tank Ledger. This was just a match, and I think I said this before we're getting into it. Let's see how good Hank and Tank are, but please, for the love of God, don't have New Catch take the loss. And that's exactly what happened. What did you think, though, of Hank and Tank in the ring?
It was a fun match. It was just kind
of my best, by the way. That was how I should do it from now on. That was, damn, I got it now. I didn't bury your lead. I'm sorry. That's just, wow. Wow.
I don't have a lead though. So there was nothing for you to
No,
bury.
I set you up perfect, man. That was good on my part. That was a good lead announcer right there. I explained the match, talked about it, and said, "What'd you think of them in the ring?" That was good. I got to do that
Good.
more often. Thanks, guys.
We all we all know Pete Dunay and Tyler Bate can go. Hank and Tank, they had a good showing here. I'm not 100% sure. Apparently, Hank and Tank, Walker and Ledger, they've had a few gimmick changes over the last little while. I was
Oh,
reading up
which
on a
one
little
of
bit,
them?
and apparently, like they've just never really clicked with anything they've done, and this is kind of like where they're at now with their gimmick. And this is just NXT. This is just NXT. Shawn Michaels, the talent, the creative, trying to find where each character fits. They see something in them. They're like, we're gonna find something that works for you. That's what NXT is for.
Mhm.
It was a good match. It was fun. I mean, how really honestly, how are you gonna have a bad net match which Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne, which I think really in the end is why they set up these matches with why Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne are back down on NXT a lot is because it's kind of hard to have a bad match with those two.
Yeah, and they don't really have anything brewing for them on the main roster right now. Maybe eventually, but right now they're giving them something to do. And hey, Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate, those guys are good at wrestling. They're from Britain and they do British strong style. I would know about that because I've seen some British strong style matches. Thanks, guys. On to the next match. Izzy Dame takes on Brinley Reese. Izzy Dame picks up the win with a Falcon Arrow here.
No,
Um,
continue.
with a
Go.
Falcon Arrow here. Uh, and was probably the best match I've seen from Izzy Dame.
I think that had more to do with the fact that Brinley Reese was really fucking good in this match.
Brinley is really good,
Um,
athletic. She's got that athleticism about her. I don't know. She's not the one that's the former cheerleader. I'm thinking of somebody else. We'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, Brinley's great.
yeah, that's
Carly Bright.
Carly Bright, yeah. But nonetheless, I mean, it was a quick match, 2.5 minutes long. But
Right.
the Falcon Arrow looked cool. Izzy Dame, they obviously trying to get her back into the swing of things. She looks better than she had in the past. But again, slow match, short match. Not really a whole lot of time to screw anything up. We go back to that fatal the 6 woman tag match, was it? Anyways, nonetheless, back at
With
WrestleMania.
JC and Jasmine. No,
Yeah,
JC,
she looked horrible, and
Kiana, Izzy versus Thea, Fallon, and Kalani.
yes, I think that's right. But anyways, nonetheless, she didn't look good in that match. She looked better here, but again, only 2.5 minutes. Time will tell. Maybe that's what she was off doing for the last 3-4 months, back down to the performance center, just training. Who knows? They should probably do the same with Lola Vice. But anyways, we'll get to that. You skipped over my favorite part of the entire show, which is, well, actually the Ariana Grace stuff was my favorite part. But this was also a lot of fun. Stevie Turner, Mr. Stone, Ora Mensa. This little segment just before the match that we just covered.
Apologies, that
Was
was not on
fun.
my rundown. I'm
Uh,
sorry.
Ora Mensa is barred from Heatwave after his attacks on Ethan Page. And Stevie Turner and Mr. Stone had a little face-off argument between the two of them, and I just thought that was hilarious. I really like Stevie Turner. I think she's hilarious. And she's got that British humor, and it's all great. I love
Mhm.
it. But yes,
Uh,
back to
yeah,
Brinley Reese, Izzy Dame. It even shocked you when I said, "Hey, I think Brinley Reese is growing on me." And she's like, even though she's still Thea's gimmick, I'm like, "Well, yeah, I know. I'm
the
still
happy-go-lucky.
upset about that, but
Even though I don't know if it's in my rundown, but backstage with Idris and Malik, they were kind of talking about something, and she kind of didn't have that happy-go-lucky gimmick. She was like, "I'm just gonna go work out, guys." I was like,
yeah."
"Okay." But up next is one of our favorite segments to always talk about here on the show. Chase University doing a lesson on Canada Day. Uh, but Duke Hudson can't contain himself anymore and he explodes, revealing that he cheated against the Good Brothers with an assist from Ridge. Ridge apologizes to Chase U for not letting them know how he cheated, but that they were a family to him and he just wanted to do anything to help win. That's why he pushed Andre Chase out of the way when Tyler Bate went for a top rope suicida. Um, Andre, says thank you for telling the truth, but we're gonna leave you behind when we go to Toronto for NXT Heatwave.
Q said Thea Hale.
Yeah.
Um,
Do you think he stays away, or you think he'll be there?
he'll be there. He'll be there.
If you're booking it, do you think he shows up to have them lose to Axiom and Frazier, or is he the reason they win?
I think he's the reason they win.
I'm here for that.
This
I'm here for that.
Axiom Nathan Frazier angle they're doing with Nathan Frazier kind of wanting to go off do his own thing, single stuff, and the heat that's between Axiom and Nathan Frazier. I'm enjoying the shit out of that angle right now. That's a lot of fun. Those two are actually amazing at cutting the promos on that. But it's about time. It's about time you take the titles off them. Chase you. This is a good story to have with Ridge Holland. Have him come in, help them win the titles, even though they're banned. You know, Duke Hudson doesn't like it. Andre Chase and Thea like it. Riley's a little pissed off. You know, whatever angle they want to go with it works. I think that's what you have to go with. I don't think you have them coming in and costing them the titles. I think that doesn't work with the story in any way whatsoever.
Let's get to the rough promo here. Lolo Vice was in the ring. She calls out Roxanne Perez to do the face-to-face. Roxanne, tells her congrats on the growth. Make a point to say, watch every move she's had since her run in Bellator. Perez said that there's no chance she would last 2 minutes in NXT Underground. She says that. I wouldn't last in that world, but this is my ring, and this is where I dominate. And then, as RK is demonstrating the fake ugly cry, Vice does that as she's explaining how her mom was a black belt when she got pregnant. She was winning MMA at 18, wanted to dedicate a win to her mother. And
that's hard to do, actually.
And Perez appreciates Lola's story. But she said that, Lola said she couldn't wait to call her mom and tell her she was the champion. I just want to call my mom and tell her that I am the champion. And Roxanne I love this actual response from Roxanne. This is my favorite part of the whole segment, where Roxanne says, I feel for your story, but that's the exact same call that every woman in the locker room wants to make to their mom. Basically, cry me a fucking river. Everybody wants to call their mom when they win. Okay, so shut up. Vice still doing the ugly cry. Hits one of the security guards with a back fist, and celebrates in the ring, but like not celebrating because she was still doing the ugly cry. This segment was bad, man. The Lola, there was nothing Roxanne could do because it was Lola's moment to do her sob story, and it backfired in my eyes.
I almost turned this shit off, man.
How could you turn it off? I was the one playing it.
I almost just left.
You did,
actually. I did. The fuck? Are you gonna fake, like, if you're gonna fake cry, learn how to, get some tears or something. And Jesus Christ. And I'm just trying to find it right now. That's why I'm kind of just stalling. But
this is probably very dumb of me to say. I'm no actor. I can't do that. But if she's saying she's had some hardships and some stuff that's been sad in her life, right? Me being me, I'll tell you right now, I could look at you right now, RK. We could talk, and I could probably end up making myself cry. I could.
Oh, dude, I could definitely make myself cry.
I've experienced some shit that kills me and still hurts my heart to this day, and all I got to do is, get thinking too deep about it, and I can guarantee you these tears start flowing. So I don't know how actors do it. I know that some of them have like stuff put on their eyes to make the scenes better, whatever. Or some of them are just that good at doing the crying. Lola is good at not doing that. That her face was not the greatest. Are you looking for a picture of her crying?
No, I was looking for what Brandy Rhodes tweeted, and I don't know if it was a real tweet because I read it and I was just like, yeah, that's stupid that you think that. But anyways, it might have been a fake tweet.
I probably won't be able to find it if you couldn't. But I'll
it was nonetheless. She said something about this segment between Lola and Roxanne was so good. I can't wait for my kids to be old enough to understand it. I was like, this wasn't a good segment. This was horrible. I did not give two shits about Lola. I never did before. I definitely don't now. Roxanne, I don't know how Roxanne kept it together and not fucking just laugh at her. But I mean, God, it was horrible. It was not good. I don't like Lola. I'm gonna bury Lola. I buried Lola like the first time I saw her in her match, and then I apologized in her second match, and I don't know why I apologized because the third match I was like,
the second match was actually not bad. It was a good match because the first match was against Natalia, I think.
Yeah,
and it was rough. Natalia was trying her best to keep that going. The second match may have been against Carmen Petrovich. and it was better. And it was like, okay, not bad. Lola got better from that last match. Maybe she learned. Then we got to the third match, and as you said, it was like, okay, nothing changed. She's not good.
No.
She just, I
And
don't.
her promos annoy me, and all she does is dance. And yeah, I get it, and it's wrestling, and for the history of wrestling, at least since the like WWE and WCW started doing, mainly Vince Russo, tits and ass sell. It's as old as anything. You want to sell a product, you put TNA in it. It's as simple as that.
Not
Sex
even tits
sells.
and
It does.
sex
That's the
sells.
sex sells. It's the history of the world. It always has, always will.
Look at the Liv and Dom stuff. It's got that risque appeal
Yeah,
behind it with
100%.
Liv.
So I get it, and I understand Lola Vice. She's a very beautiful woman. She is, but it's overkill, and I don't want to see it. I
That's fair.
really don't. I don't. It's so
That's
bad.
that
Everything
is
about
fair.
it, the dancing, the shit, all that stuff, bad. I can understand why Shayna Baszler told her to knock that shit off because she was actually trying to help her.
Yeah. Damon Kemp backstage is offering brass knuckles to Miles Bourne ahead of his match. Dempsey says to disregard that. Tavian Heights is a bit bamboozled. Eddie Thorpe is backstage with Danny Palmer and a few others, talking about his first DJ set that he had in a few years this past weekend. Lexus King interrupts, makes fun of Thorpe being an EDM producer, saying rock was real music. And I actually agree with Lexus King on this one. I'm not a fan of the EDM stuff, and Lexus threw out a couple bands that I'm like, yeah, that's good shit right there. What are you rocking with? Avenged Sevenfold? Nice. Heel RK look tonight, ladies and gentlemen, by the way. I just want to point that out. What is this? What am I dropping seeds, dropping hints? Stay tuned. We'll get to Heel RK very soon. You should do that. You should I hope
What?
you do that. Just change everything. Just kind of like wipe your face and then lock into a heel mode. Turn it off and on.
Okay.
Turn it off and on. When you put the headband on, it's like The Rock wearing a fancy ass Versace vest. Oh man. Aura Mensa's match is up next with Miles Bourne. Aura is going to pick up the win here. A lot of distraction on the ringside from Damon because he's trying to give Miles those brass knuckles. We pointed out before Miles Bourne is legally deaf and couldn't even hear. Damon trying to give him the brass knuckles, leading to Aura to hit him with his finisher. What did you think of Aura in this match? And
Not bad.
I know
Not
you're
bad.
kind of working a little bit during this point, but yeah, not bad is the best way. Or is athletic, very athletic.
Yeah, I was surprised. I don't we It's kind of like Noam Dar and Aura, and I mean obviously Lash Legend gets the most play out of the metaphor. Um, Noam Dar can go in the ring. He just doesn't get a lot of matches.
Mm-hmm.
Or Mensa in this match showed that he can go in the ring. He just doesn't get a lot of singles matches, and I like that they're giving a little push here. They're making him a part of some storylines and this and whatnot and all that. And he's got the skill to carry it. So I want to see where they go with this. I'm impressed so far. And the funny thing of trying to give the brass knuckles to the deaf guy, but he can't hear that's kind of funny.
There was a Gallus, Tyson DuPont, and Tyreek Iguay backstage brawl. That match was later revealed to be removed. It was supposed to take place during the show. The Good Brothers call out OTM's Bronco Nima and Lucien Price to a match next week, promising to break their faces. It's coming off the heels of Jade Parker beating Michin. Said, okay, your girl got the win, but you got to deal with us next week. Wendy Chu's in action next against Carly Bright. I actually thought Carly didn't look bad in this match, but the main takeaway from this was Wendy Chu's new character development is menacing, and I love it. What'd you think?
I like it a lot. I never saw Wendy Chu's original character,
Same.
but whatever they're doing with her now, I'm here
I
for it.
think.
I'm digging it. Let's see where they go with it. I hope
Mhm.
they can make it work really well because I think they got something there with her, and um, that tree of she put Carly into the tree of woe in the corner there, and then the running drop kick, but Bright makes the clothesline come. That was just a cool
Yeah.
little segment there.
Yeah.
They Carly can go,
Yeah.
but I'm really digging what they're doing with Wendy Chu right now, and I hope they can make it work.
Yeah. She finisher with a submission move. The basically the cross jacket sleeper is what is noted here on my notes.
Basically a Cobra clutch.
Yep. This was one of my favorite moments. Was Shawn Michaels cutting a vignette, basically talking about Brooks Jensen. They acknowledged that Brooks was causing a lot of chaos, and Shawn Michaels just basically put it all out there and said rumors were that he was released from his contract. He wasn't. Ever since his breakup with Josh Briggs and Fallon Henley, he spiraled. We told him to go home and get better. And ever since then, he's kind of went off the edge, trying to interrupt shows, posting stuff on social media that was incriminating towards NXT. And Shawn Michaels has invited Brooks Jensen next week to meet with Ava. So I thought this was pretty cool. Shawn Michaels actually on TV.
Sounds like somebody lost their smile.
There you go.
You want to talk about trying to get somebody over? This is how you do it. You give them the Shawn Michaels rub. You give them the Triple H rub. You give them the Rock rub. You give them a Legends push, and you're trying to get them over. I hope it works. Brooks Jensen, this whole angle has actually been really fucking good, and I want to see where they go with this next week. They're gonna need a home run to make it hit, like really hit. But if they can do it, they got something here. This is good.
I'm excited to see him talk to Ava, but I really wish it was like a sit down with Shawn Michaels. That would be even.
I mean, they're doing something here, and like I said, they are going to need a home run to make it hit. But if they can make it work, man, we're in for something here.
Up next was a fantastic match. Wish it would have went longer. Jasmine Nix taking on Carmen Petrovich. There was a couple great spots in this match I'll let RK talk about. Jasmine's going to pick up the win, though, with a distraction because of JC, leading to a Pele kick to Carmen for the 1-2-3. What did you think of this match?
All right, so we were watching this match. I was busy with some work shit. And then you're like, dude, you're missing a banner match. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I'm like, restart it. And watched it. I was like, holy shit. This is good stuff. The Shining Wizard from Nyx was, and then into the figure four necklock. All that little segment right there was really cool. Nyx has it. She has the look. She has the skill. Carmen is phenomenal too. Like seriously, these guys could have probably put on like a 20-minute banner, and it would.
Yeah, I wish they had more time. That's what I said.
I mean, it was a three, just shy of 4 minutes the match, and JC Jane on the outside with the distraction and all. Everything's working. Everything worked in this match. It was really fucking good. But the Pele kick, you said it before. It's probably one of the nicest Pele kicks in wrestling.
Yep. Jasmine Nix got the win. And this was the main event match. This was the final match on the night. So these two ladies got to be the final match for this, but there was still a little bit more to go. With Axiom and Nathan Frazier talking backstage, where Axiom's like going over stuff, and Nathan talks about what they should do or what should happen is he'll throw him out the ring, I'll kick him in, do this, and Axiom's like, oh, and then you'll tag me in. He's like, what? Tag you in? Oh, I'm talking about my WWE speed match with Xavier Woods. And Axiom gets frustrated because Frazier's losing his focus. Frazier said, don't worry, we'll watch those tapes and we'll defend our titles at Heatwave. Don't worry. Carmen backstage meets with Ava where she wants a shot at JC Jane and Jasmine Nix. Ava books that match and says, you'll have your tag team partner. She already set it up for you, and it was Ariana Grace. Ariana and Carmen will be on the pre-show, taking on Jasmine Nix and JC Jane. We get a Sol Ruka vignette ahead of the NXT Women's North American Championship, where she promised that she will win the title at Heatwave. Interested. I'm really excited. Looking forward to Kalani and Sol.
So I said it during the video. One of these two has to turn heel at this match.
Yeah,
I think that's what pushes this. Just having a babyface match, friends. It never works out where they're just friends after the match. Something always happens. One of these two ladies is going heel in this match. You and I both probably agree that if it does happen, it's probably Kalani. She does seem to have that side to her that it would probably work.
Could be Soul too, but I think Soul's a little bit more over with the crowd than
Yeah.
Kalani. And Kalani is the champion, and she can basically do the I'm going to do anything it takes to retain my
Yeah.
title. So
But
yeah.
have a babyface match, and normally when you have a babyface match, title match, two baby faces going up against each other without any kind of real feud behind it, it just it falls flat. So I hope they do something with this. I think Kalani could make a good heel, and it would probably give her a bit more chance to get over with the crowd. Soul's definitely over.
Mm-hmm. Trick Williams, Shawn Spears, Ethan Page, and Javon Evans contract signing ahead of the NXT Heat Wave main event fatal 4-way match for the title. Basically, a couple takeaways was Page saying, I like your swagger, Trick, but I don't have to beat you to win the title. Spears putting over Trick, saying he likes your passion, but that's going to cost you. And then he kind of goes in on Javon Evans, calling him a kid and this, that, and the other. And Javon basically just starts roasting Shawn Spears, saying, you keep calling me a kid, that's fine. You never won the title, did you? Where's your title? You got all the experience. Leading to a brawl, of course, which showed Javon and Trick standing tall after they put both of the individuals of Ethan Page and Shawn Spears through tables. Javon looked like he was going to grab the title. Trick grabbed it away and stared him down. And there's more quotes I'm missing. I'm sure that you have a couple you got in your bag. What'd you think of this segment?
I don't have any quotes in my bag, but the takeaway from this, Trick's getting better. Javon is still, he's a kid. He's 20. He can have all the in-ring skill he wants. This promo was okay, but it just seemed it didn't come off. It didn't come off as a wrestling promo. It was more just a kid from the hood talking.
Yeah, I actually didn't. I know what you're saying. He's still green on the promo. I liked when he stood up and he said, "You keep talking, I'm gonna smack your ass." I was like,
oh no, it's definitely there. But
okay.
the big takeaway here is Shawn Spears, Ethan Page is the perfect two guys to have with those two in a promo like this, because Shawn Spears can talk, Ethan Page can definitely talk.
Trick can talk, but what makes Trick's promos good is because he gets the crowd involved in his passion.
Yeah.
Not the greatest compared to Ethan Page and Shawn Spears. And actually the same with Javon. Javon's not the greatest on the mic, but the crowd's into him and he gets the crowd behind him. That's why both of them
it works. This
both
is
of them
the
had the
perfect
crowd
dynamic.
chanting, so I
this
get
is
it.
two veterans, two young guys working together.
Man,
it all works.
I'm interested to see if Trick actually comes out on top here. I am very interested.
I still think you put it on Shawn Spears here. You get a feud going with maybe Trick again, Javon, and then you let the young gun take it off the veteran. It's a huge push.
Or you swerve us and do it with put it on Ethan Page.
I'm even cool with that. I think you got to give it to one of the veterans here, then have one of the kids take it off of them. It's a huge push.
I'm not even looking at it from a veteran standpoint. I think I want a heel champion right now. I think they need that. Roxanne's a heel.
It's history. Kevin Nash, and Kevin Nash can be pretty much an idiot most times, but he does understand the whole thing that gets the thing going is the babyface chasing the title from a heel. But as soon as that babyface wins the title, unless in certain Cody Rhodes is doing just fine. This isn't even a shot at Cody Rhodes, but as soon as that babyface gets the title, you got to get it back off him again, so you can start that chase all over again. Mm-hmm. Heel champions are just generally better at holding the title, because then you got so many people chasing you. You can create that perfect good versus evil dynamic. It's a little harder to have a heel chase the babyface for the title.
Roman Reigns, look at it. Look at the run.
And look at what the outcome was. Cody Rhodes, the biggest fucking star in all of wrestling.
100%.
It's the chase that matters. Yep. Kevin Nash understands that, and it's as far back as wrestling goes, you always want the babyface chasing the heel.
Well, with that being said, that leads us to AEW.
Can we just stop? Just say, hey, AEW Dynamite sucked. Let's go. It wasn't horrible, but my
saying it was a great show.
Damn. A lot of people think it's all those AEW
Yeah.
marks that have their fucking heads up Tony Khan's ass.
This is AEW Dynamite Beach Break from July 3rd, 2024. We kick things off with the men's Owen Hart Foundation semifinal match.
I'm just gonna start right off the hop here. So halfway through the show, we got a John Cena hosting Shark Week for Discovery. Beach Week
Promoting.
brought to you by Discovery Shark Week, which is brought to you by John Cena is promoting AEW now. AEW is using John Cena. John Cena, W. What the fuck are we doing?
Using him without him even.
How do you have
knowing?
a John Cena commercial during your AEW wrestling show? How do you even allow that to happen?
Hey, they might get a ratings pop. Who knows? Braniel. I was gonna say Braniel Danielson. Bryan Danielson is taking on Pac in a semifinal match for the Men's Own Heart Foundation tournament. Bryan Danielson's gonna pick up the win here. It was a good. You know what? RK, go ahead. Go ahead.
Good match. Don't fucking matter. You had two dumb things happen in this match. You had the fucking multiple roll up into the final pin fucking bullshit after a great match. And then you had the, oh my God, my neck's hurt again. Why am I even wrestling if my neck's this fucked up? Like, what are we fucking get over? Why are we still doing this stupid shit? I've been reading online the whole, this is some kind of redemption arc for Bryan Danielson. He's going to come through and make the big win. And is Danielson the one who beats Swerve? Is that what's going to happen here at All In? Like
at Wembley. Yep. 100%.
Like,
I just don't see any of their outcomes.
Why is the doctor coming in each week? Like, if his neck is really that fucked up, should he even be fucking wrestling?
There is only one other storyline that not even story. There's only a single storyline in this tournament that makes sense to go take on Swerve at Wembley, which we'll get to in a minute. But yeah, the match.
Yeah, you ruined you ruined an amazing match. Nearly 17-minute match, phenomenal match all the way through. Bryan Danielson was showing shades of old school Bryan Danielson. Yep. It was a perfect mix of holds match. Pac is fucking amazing. Then you have that stupid roll up finish, and then my neck hurts.
Yep. So Bryan Danielson advances, and he will face the winner of Jay White. I'll just talk about it in a minute because it's a little confusing. Willow Nightingale cuts her promo on her upcoming match with Chris Statlander. We'll get to that match in a bit. We get the highlights from the ladder match. Mark Briscoe has been in the ring, declaring himself the first member for Team AEW for Blood and Guts. Gets assaulted by Jack Perry. Jack Perry gets assaulted by Kyle O'Reilly. Kazuchika Okada comes out to attack him. Matthew Nicholas Jackson tried to join the fun, but then the Acclaim comes out. I wanted to talk about this. I didn't really mention it unless you did. I don't know. Maybe I read it somewhere. The whole Blood and Guts thing, Team AEW versus the Elite, is happening. Team AEW having Mark Briscoe, who's the Ring of Honor World Champion. That's fine. I like Mark Briscoe. He'll do some crazy shit in this match. But the Acclaimed is going to be a representative for Team AEW. I don't like that.
Jon Moxley, Swerve Strickland, Will Ospreay, Bryan Danielson.
Nope.
No, just hold up. Just hold the fuck up. Chris Jericho. I don't care. You have all these mega superstars, and you got the Acclaimed being pitched for this.
Swerve.
Why? This is supposed to be the big, huge match between the Elite versus AEW, and you're going to put in mid-card guys over fucking bona fide superstars.
Yeah,
Mark Briscoe. Mark Briscoe's awesome. He's a dog. What the fuck does the Ring of Honor Championship even do for him? Like,
besides that, Team AEW.
Swerve. And also one last fucking flip side. At least for once, they make Okada not look like a bitch for 5 minutes.
Yeah, good job. Swerve makes sense for the match for Team AEW. He's your world champion, so he should be in the match. I don't really want Danielson, as bad as that sounds. I don't want Will. Moxley makes sense because he kind of has been there since day one. Kind of. He showed up. I want the day one guys from AEW to be in this match. The cornerstones of AEW. MJF, well, not now, but we'll get to that in a bit. But just those guys. Like, even if Darby Allin's coming back, I don't know. I don't know what's up with Darby, but Darby should be in that match. And he's been gone for a while. Sammy Guevara has been there from day one. your OG AEW guys. Come
I
on.
heard, I read something that they do have some future plans for Guevara eventually. They just
Mhm.
don't know what they are yet. I don't know why they would report that they have plans, but they don't know what they are yet.
Mhm.
But
And I
who knows?
wish Kenny Omega was healthy because he would be in this match. But I
Yeah.
just feel like Team AEW needs to consist of the top level guys, and that's fine if you want to throw Danielson in there. But
I was just throwing out names. I'm just saying
right,
they have bigger guys than the Acclaimed.
yes, and it should be guys that are AEW originals in my eyes. Swerve's not an AEW original by any means, but he's your world champion, so you kind of need to keep your world champion in there. Um, Moxley makes perfect sense for this,
Moxley
but
should definitely be there.
but
This is why I said they got
no,
to get the New Japan title off him so he can come back
yeah,
and do AEW shit. And then if you don't put him in this match, what are you fucking doing with Moxley, man?
he wasn't even on he wasn't on
Moxley's a
Dynamite.
goat.
Dynamite did not have John Moxley or Swerve Strickland. Um, so yeah, there you go.
Hell,
Renee,
even part timer Osprey showed up.
yeah, he was there. Renee Paquette is backstage with Timeless Tony Storm, who's clutching onto Mariah May. Paquette wants to know about Mariah's matchup with Hikaru Shida on Rampage, and goes to say, you know, if you win this tournament, you face. And Tony cuts her off and says, "We'll get to that when we get there." And Tony lets Mariah say the words, "Chin up, tits out, and watch for the shoe." Willow Nightingale takes on Chris Statlander in the next match of the night, which is the Women's Owen Hart Foundation semifinal. Willow is going to get the win over her rival Chris. And yes, this was the right call. And yes, this match was pretty good from both of these women. Big fan of Chris and Willow. And thank God Willow got the win. What'd you think?
It's a good match. Thank God Willow won.
Yeah.
I would have been right pissed. I'm already pissed off at this entire show, but I would have been right pissed at that point. Willow Nightingale, I love Willow Nightingale. She's amazing. Um, Honestly, good match. I felt like it should have more heat with apparently the huge rivalry that these two are currently in. I didn't 100% feel that heat. Willow cut an amazing promo earlier in the night.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just didn't feel the heat in the match. Didn't really take the match was good. Fucking Chris Statlander uses an F5 in this
Yeah.
match.
Yeah. On Willow. That
I
was
was like,
impressive.
God, on Willow, that's impressive. And then the distraction Hathaway fucking finish is okay. You let Chris not look weak in the loss, and Willow gets the win, and all's good. Yeah, it was a good match.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God they gave Willow. Mariah May's winning the tournament though, so really
Most
in the
likely.
end, what does it matter?
Yeah. Up next, Britt Baker comes out to reveal what was going on and why she was gone for so long. She reveals that she had a mini stroke, kept her sidelined, but she has been cleared. She's ready to go, and she starts shit talking Mercedes Moné because it's claimed that. So apparently, there's a new face of the women's division, but I've been here since day one, and great promo from Britt. Got the crowds behind her, you can tell. And the screen, she gets cut off, and it shows Mercedes Moné showing up, being greeted by Matthew and Nicholas Jackson. And they say, get her celebration set up as Britt is still in the ring. The CEO music hits. We have, we know Mercedes is not great on the mic, but Britt is. And Britt cuts a great promo at Mercedes, just telling her, if you were that big of a deal, you wouldn't have this, you wouldn't have your, the
You popped.
chant. Oh yeah,
You
she said
popped.
you wouldn't have the CEO chant in your entrance music to get the crowd going if you were that big of a deal. I was like, thank you, Britt, for saying that. And then they exchange a couple "you're a bitch," "no, you're a bitches." And one of my other favorite ones was the only 3-letter words that the crowd really knows are DMD. Mercedes ends it.
I popped for that.
Yeah, that was great. Mercedes tells her to go to the back of the line and that there's always a price to pay when you mess with Mercedes Moné. The crowd was against Mercedes here, obviously, booing her, telling her there was some shut the fuck up chants to Mercedes. So Mercedes should be a full heel now, I hope. I hope she doesn't think she shouldn't be. I don't know.
That's not going to work for her, brother.
Yeah. I need the crowd to cheer me, brother. I don't need to be booed. I'm Mercedes Moné. formerly known as Sasha Banks. And I will continue to say this to you. Sasha Banks and Mercedes Moné, not the same person. Just saying. Anyway. Oh, and Britt challenges her at Wembley Stadium. So Britt versus Mercedes, most likely at Wembley. And you said it best.
I hope so, but Mercedes said end of the line.
Yeah.
So see what happens there. This whole thing, Britt Baker's back. You and I both said, honestly, I haven't watched a lot like past what we've watched this year. I've watched some pay-per-views here and there, a couple random episodes, especially when CM Punk was coming back for the first time in 7 years. I watched for like 3 weeks until I'm like, I don't like this company as a wrestling company, but they do put on banner matches, so I'll tune into like pay-per-views to watch certain matches. Mainly, I'll continue to promote it. The steel cage match between the Young Bucks and the Lucha Bros, one of the greatest matches of all fucking time. I'll watch that match as many times as I can. I've probably seen it probably a dozen times now at least.
My favorite AEW match might be the Cody Rhodes versus Dustin Rhodes match.
Great match.
That match was beautiful. But yeah. Anyway.
Anyways, nonetheless, Britt Baker's back. She came off here as she is on or even above Mercedes level.
It's her division. It is her division. Don't get it.
She cut an emotional promo, and I actually felt it. That is a shot at Lola Vice.
It's a shot at a lot of women in AEW.
Britt Baker, you and I both. I'm like, I can't think of many matches I've actually watched for him, but there's one that stands out where she just was bloodied. I don't.
It's
somebody
in
please.
Her entrance.
I gotta find that match. I gotta watch it. I gotta watch it again because I just remember being like, "Holy fuck, this chick is legit." It was such a good match. I just can't remember who it was against or anything, but I definitely want to go back and watch it again because I'm like, man, that's where I'm like, she's legit. So now that she's back and we're watching it, I hope we get some matches with her soon. And we can see her. She is OG AEW
Thunder Rosa.
Homegrown. It was against Thunder Rosa? Okay. Anyways, nonetheless, I'm here for it. I hope. I can't see AEW letting Monet lose this soon, but fuck, she should. Britt Baker should be your champion. Best end of the show, right here. This promo, best end of the show. Britt Baker she's legit. She's right. She is amazing. The fact that she can come back from a mini stroke faster than Adam Cole can come from a twisted ankle is impressive. Yeah.
There you go. Right here.
Yes, this. This match was wild.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Dr. Britt
match was wild.
Baker versus Thunder Rosa. Yeah. So shout out to Britt being back. Can't wait to see her every week, hopefully. Up next, Will Ospreay's backstage with Kyle Fletcher, where he tells Don Callis, basically, I no longer want to be in the family. Don allows him to leave, but tells him he might come back for him for a favor. Hugs Will Ospreay, and you can see in Don's face that this ain't over. Tells Kyle Fletcher to come on. You're not going to be with your buddy anymore. So Will Ospreay's out of the family, which should have happened when he showed up in AEW.
Yeah, whatever. They're gonna. I'm sure they're gonna fuck this angle up somehow too, but we'll see where it goes.
We'll see. We will see. Chris Jericho comes out and ejects Taz from commentary so that he can do it in place of him because he doesn't believe that Taz is a biased commentator, and that's not all right. Talks about how Hook broke a cardinal sin when he stole my finish, and which is great. And he has a couple other lines. Maybe you have them where he basically just mentions that
doesn't work for me, brother.
And that doesn't work for me, brother. Sits
you
on
and I both said
commentary.
it. You and I both said it. I swear to God, Jericho before every week just reads everything online and goes, "Yeah, I'm using that."
Oh, that's a great line. I'm gonna scroll through. Yep, that one. And then he's on commentary for the next match, which is Samoa Joe, Hook, and Shibata taking on the team of Brian Cage, Bishop Khan, and Toa Liona. was an all right match, but the commentary was what made it better with Chris Jericho on there. Just the random things where he just says, and he's a matter of fact about it, and that's a great hold there. I know all about that one because I used to do it all the time. And the commentary's like, yeah, yep, thanks, Chris, good job. Thanks, guys. They went to commercial break and came back and immediately put the camera on Chris Jericho, and we're joined by Chris Jericho. And it went to because, and then just keeps on rolling. Yeah, shout out to Chris Jericho. Put him on commentary every week. I'd be okay with that. But the team of Joe Hook and Shibata get the win. That isn't what matters because Big Bill and Brian Keith assault them from behind. Keith just destroys Shibata's arm. Seems like he was never injured. Of course he wasn't. Brian Keith was faking the whole time. It's all part of the plan, brother. Big Bill takes out Samoa Joe with a chair. Jericho hits Hook with some brass knuckles, and they put Hook through a table. And Hook will probably be just fine and back on TV next week.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Because he doesn't sell, and that's a cardinal sin in my book. Doesn't work for me, brother.
Can we just talk about how they went for that? I mean, it was a cool finish, the triple chokeout.
Yeah.
Hook fucked up his fucking chokeout.
He was a little behind. Up next, Men's Own Heart Foundation quarterfinal match between Jeff Jarrett and a mystery opponent who was handpicked by the Elite, and we kind of all knew who this was going to be because they did a vignette on Collision. It was Adam Hangman Page, and Page is different. He is darker, just a dark character of Hangman Page, and he beats the shit out of Jeff Jarrett there in the end, where he doesn't go for the finish after a couple moves, does more damage. He gets the win over Jeff Jarrett. Sadly, after watching the Jeff Jarrett promo about Owen, which wasn't even a promo, like you said, I think he was just talking from the heart. And you know,
well, that's just Jeff Jarrett talking about his buddy, man. Yeah, that was not that he wasn't cutting a promo. He was just talking about what Owen Hart meant to him.
Great. It was great. Go watch it if you haven't. Obviously, we knew Jeff wasn't going to go win the Owen Hart tournament, and knew we weren't going to win the match. But man, you kind of wanted to see Jeff Jarrett get a win here just because of all that. But didn't happen. Adam Page gets the win, and Adam Page is back.
So, this commentary team fucking pisses me off sometimes. But fucking Jeff Jarrett gets him. They're like, he's going for the figure 4 leg lock that Owen Hart always is. I'm like, sharpshooter. It's like the Hearts go sharpshooter.
I didn't even get to ask you this when we were watching. You are the critical individual. You are the expert of sharpshooters.
Right?
Jeff Jarrett does the sharpshooter right. All right, add that to the list.
So this whole point was having Page come back, absolutely wrecking the fans' hopes for Jeff Jarrett. It's just Heyman Page is gonna destroy people's hopes and dreams. Which, whatever. You can't respectfully think Jeff Jarrett's actually going to beat Heyman Page. I think this would have been better off angle to do later in the tournament. Because of
have Jeff get a run going.
Yeah, just because of what he cut and everything. It's just like, why crush that so early? Like, fuck it. Who cares? It's all scripted anyway. So just have Jeff Jarrett lose in the finals before the winner, or something. I don't know. Like, let him have that run.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not like Jeff puts on a bad match. He still goes good for his age, which is impressive. It was a good match, but this is all about Page, his comeback and being a badass and shit. But I don't know. I just don't like.
And don't get me wrong,
I don't like the angle.
I like Hangman. I do like Hangman. I think he's great, but he's doing this revenge Hangman. We'll get to that here in just a second. Before we do, backstage, the Learning Tree is attacking Hook, where Chris Jericho threw a fireball. Excuse me, in his eyes. I was okay, random. He learned that trick from probably someone in Japan or in the WWE. Who knows? But he knows, brother. Backstage, Renee Paquette is attempting to talk to Adam Hangman Page.
Who shot the fireball at China? Well, at Triple H, but Triple H ducked and then China took it.
I don't remember. Before my time. I'm sure I would have saw it. Renee Paquette attempts to talk to Adam Hangman Page. Matthew and Nicholas Jackson try to gaslight Adam Page into saying, you're not my puppet anymore. We need you to join our team for Blood and Guts. Page says, I'm not your puppet, and I no longer need you. And they blow it off like nothing is wrong. So this leads me to believe that he may not be a part of the elite team for Blood and Guts. The Adam Hangman Page is focused on one thing and one thing only, and that Kane. That makes sense, actually. Duh. That Hangman is focused on one thing and one thing only, is that is winning the Owen Hart tournament and facing Swerve Strickland at Wembley. When I mentioned that there was a story that makes sense, and that is the Hangman Page and Swerve Strickland story. That story is good. It's a blood feud, man. Those two have told a great story against each other. Is that a main event match at Wembley Stadium, though? I don't know. You could do it, but I don't think AEW has that in them to make that happen. But yeah, it's either going to be Danielson or Hangman Page facing Swerve at Wembley. And if you want to go on, I think Hangman and Swerve would be a better match because of the story around it. The story with Danielson is his redemption, but the story with Swerve and Danielson, there's nothing. But the story with Swerve and Hangman, there's a lot. There's a lot.
100%. The multiple matches and everything. I gotta give them props on this one. Having Heyman not join the elite, didn't see that one coming. Honestly,
well, we don't know yet. They kind of blew it off like nothing's wrong, but clearly there's something there.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying it was written right there that should be the way that you go, and then them not doing it right off the hop. I do like it. It is the attempt to make something there.
Yeah. All right, we're into the final match of the reviews. In the final match of Dynamite, it's the AEW International Championship on the line. Will Ospreay defending against Daniel Garcia with MJF in Danny's corner. Will Ospreay is going to pick up the win here over Daniel Garcia in a match. It was a good match. It was Will Ospreay doing everything great, Will Ospreay style. I still don't get Danny Garcia, man. I don't get him. His in-ring ability is okay, but is it, in your words, should he be going up and having a chance against someone like Will Ospreay?
No, he's not even on Ospreay's level. I still think we should have gone with, knock Ospreay all the way into the ground, and
yeah, that's what I said, man. Just have him lose
it
all.
They could have had a great story there, I think. But
they
nonetheless,
and they did it already. They would have just went through it because he was out of the family, right? He lost the family aspect. Have him lose the title. Screw it at this point, and have him spiral.
Garcia beating Ospreay is just not
true,
even in the realm of possibility. True. I don't know what the deal is with Garcia. Everybody seems to be all for him for some reason. I don't get it.
I wanted to point this out. So Sean Ross Sapp tweeted out something. The Ospreay retains, and all I tweeted to it was saying, I don't get the Garcia hype. Someone educate me or something, because I'm not seeing it. Maybe I'm just not a fan. I don't know. Someone said he cuts a good promo and his in-ring is pretty damn great, but maybe you just aren't a fan. Sometimes a certain wrestler just doesn't click for someone, even if he clicks for a lot of people, which was a tame response. And then someone tried to tell me that, well, there's a lot of respect for him. It comes from his personal life, and that accident left him broken and unsure if he'd ever be able to wrestle again. It's a true underdog comeback story, and that is something that draws people in. And I'm like, I don't get it, man. I don't get it.
So
he didn't get to win.
I don't know. This match was good. Don't get me wrong. And I'm just not sure if it was Ospreay carrying him or if Danny Garcia has the skill. Ospreay can almost make anybody look good. Facts. Really, think about it. It's kind of like Kenny Omega. It's certain guys can just carry a match. You put a guy in a match with a guy, you're guaranteed to have a good match because
put me in a match with Ospreay, we'll get a 3-star. And all I did was contribute half of that star, half of a star.
But nonetheless, so this is my thought on Dan. So if let's say he is good in the ring, let's say that this match was good because Danny Garcia can carry a match a little bit. Let's just say that for the sake of saying that. I think I get gimmicks and everything, and I do, and this just his fucking crotch that is just the stupidest fucking shit ever. Agreed. Get rid of that, and maybe I respect the guy a bit more. I just think that is so dumb, so fucking stupid, just not even funny. It's not even funny. I don't see any humor. I love good toilet humor and shit humor, but that's just dumb. Like, why are we doing that? I watched a whole video of like where the best wrestler is just Garcia all the time. So he fucking shoot. I'm just like, this is fucking stupid. Why are we doing this? If he got rid of that gimmick, I probably would buy him a little bit more. But he's a joke. He's a fucking joke. I
All
don't
right.
even. He can't even lick Will Ospreay's boots. And thank God MJF just fucking destroys him after this. Because
Yep.
I thought for a hot second that MJF was going to be a bitch in this situation, but thank God he wasn't.
Nope.
And
And
then just goes on an absolute beatdown of Danny Garcia because that's all Danny Garcia deserves.
this was the highlight of the night for me. Was MJF finally being the MJF we know and love and being a dirty heel. Kicks him in the nuts, bloodies him up, hits him with the dynamite diamond ring, hits him with a tombstone off the top rope. Security breaks it up. Christopher Daniels just keeps repeating, "Why would you do that? Why would you do that?" Max rolls out the rig, goes into the crowd, and literally gets into it with two fans. There is a fan with him. They are head to head arguing, and Max is just fuck you.
That is classic territory heel shit.
Good
This is
shit.
like Dudley's back in ECW days, literally inciting riots with the fans. Go back to the territories where you listen to all the stories of guys in the territories in the 80s and 70s of legitimately being scared for their lives because they were heels and people wanted to kill them. They would have like people legitimately trying to like kill them out in the streets because
Mhm.
they thought it was like this was back when everybody thought it was all real.
It's still
And
real to
they
me,
thought
damn it.
nonetheless, that's some good heel shit. I decided to laugh here because I'm reading my sheets that I get my shit off of, and Buddy's like, during this whole beatdown, Osprey finally comes back,
Yeah,
presumably after trying to find a hot pretzel. Uh,
yeah. It took forever, didn't it? He just
like the
where was
beatdown
he?
literally started while Osprey was still on the ramp, I think.
He had just had to get backstage. So you're telling me he didn't get to Gorilla, and then that's when Christopher Daniels was like, "Oh, hey, Will, yeah, I got some stuff I got to do. You go to catering, you'll be all right." Yeah, whatever. We'll see. You did mention we need to catch the opening segment of AEW Collision Saturday because MJF is opening the show, so we will find a way to
Yeah.
get that watched on Saturday. I know I have my racing on Saturday, and we got Money in the Bank Saturday, so man,
We're
jam
not
packed.
watching the whole show. We're not watching the whole show. We're watching the
Just
opening
just
and then the
MJF segment.
dipping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, look forward to that. But that's AEW Dynamite. It was an okay show. Thank God MJF is finally the dirty, dastardly heel that we know and love.
You know,
Anything else?
I read something about that, and one guy's like, you know what? Him turning heel, that's just predictable. Predictable AEW. This is the one time where I'm okay with it being predictable because MJF as a heel is
Yes.
so goddamn fucking good.
It's supposed to be. He needs to be. We need it. It's what makes it better for AEW. Yeah, that's
So
AEW.
that is AEW. I don't know. Did I completely bury it? There are some good spots in that show.
I'm sure we'll have an
Um,
opportunity where you can completely bury it.
honestly, yeah. But nonetheless, let me just do a quick scroll here. Since we the Matt Riddle Walter match next week, which we were going to do this week, we're going to watch that next week, and I'm going to throw in a second match
We're gonna
because
do
we
two.
didn't do
We're gonna
one
double
this
up.
week.
We'll
We're going to
double
do
up.
two.
Yeah, all right,
Yeah.
let's do it.
Let me just find one here. Oh, I just found one. Okay. So we're going to go back to 2017, June 13th. GFW Next Gen Championship.
Okay.
Defy One Legacy. I'll have to look up this because I've never heard of either of this stuff. Anyways, Shane Swerve Strickland versus champion Cody Rhodes.
Ooh, okay. Okay. All right, I'm here for that. I'm here for that. That's gonna be interesting. This is definitely Swerve right after WWE, I think.
Yes,
Or
pretty
maybe
much.
no. This may have been him before he went to
The
WWE.
the the pick this the I think it's before because the picture I have here it's Cody Rhodes with black hair.
This was right after he left WWE then for Cody. And then
Yeah.
this was probably right before Swerve went to WWE. So that makes sense. All right, I'm interested for that one. Intrigued for that one. Before we get out of here, it's time. Who was your wrestler of the week?
My wrestler of the week. Oh, that's a tough one. That is actually
Not
a
for
tough
me.
one this week.
Not for me because I'm not
Really?
picking a wrestler. I'm picking that man that was on SmackDown. Paul
Paul
Heyman.
Heyman?
I don't care. He's
That's
not a
fair.
wrestler. He deserves it. Paul Heyman, everything he did for that Bloodline segment was top tier and beautiful. So he deserves the praise. That's my guy of the week right there.
You know what? I'm gonna take your angle on that because it was the best part of the show, and I'm so happy she's back and doing her thing. And I just really want to see what she actually brings in the ring because, like I said, I haven't watched a lot of her matches, so I'm pumped for this return. I'm pumped to see what she brings, and I hope she can beat Mercedes Moné. My wrestler of the week is Dr. Britt Baker D.M.D.
I agree with you on that one. And now let's pick our show of the week, and I'm going to count down from 3, 2, 1. We'll say it at the same time, shall we? 3, 2, 1.
SmackDown.
Yeah, no questions. That everything. SmackDown was a good show, and the opening segment with the brawl and the closing segment with the putting Paul Heyman through a table. SmackDown was without a doubt show of the week in my eyes, and I think same with you. That was
All the ratings, all the attendance, all the watch. I mean, they had a higher attendance than Forbidden Door.
Ooh. But yeah,
I would have rather you paid $40 to watch SmackDown than Forbidden Door.
I would have paid 50. I would have paid. I mean, technically, I pay $78 a month to be able to watch this stuff, but that's just YouTube TV, and I get a lot more than just that, so I'm not complaining. But yeah, that's this week in wrestling from Top Rope Renegades. Stay tuned to the channel. Post SmackDown reactions instantly. I think we're gonna go live for that because it's the go home show before Money in the Bank. And we will have I think we're going to combine the predictions, right, for Heatwave and Money in the Bank. Just do it all in one.
Yeah, we're just going to do one big show, and then maybe after, should we do a reaction show after each show, or should we just do one big one on, I'll figure it out.
It depends. If Money in the Bank is as big as it could be, I think we're probably going to have to do an instant reaction for that one, to be fair.
Yeah.
But yeah, with that being said, thank you so much for tuning in. Really appreciate it. And this has been Top Rope Renegades. I'm Kurt. That's RK. And as always, RK, do you got any parting words?
Yes. 5 stars.
I didn't catch anything you said there, sir. Please say that again. I don't know if the music
What?
didn't. I don't know if the music messed up your mic or what happened there. Can you say that one more time? I'm so sorry. I didn't hear you. Didn't hear
Not
a
at
word
all?
you said. Nope. No,
Not
sir.
at all. None?
No, sir.
No?
Nope.
Okay. Well, I said we had a 5-star show, but since you didn't hear it, it didn't actually happen. So 4.5 this week. But Tokyo Dome, 5 stars.
No matter if I didn't hear you or not. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll talk to you guys very soon with our SmackDown review and the predictions for NXT Heatwave and Money in the Bank. Talk to you guys next week.
God bless America.
Yeehaw, brother.